about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He hates it.
Dude, whatever, it's Champions League week. Get off. Get off.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? We are the Permanent Relegation Podcast. We're here at Chatham Tap and Fishers, like we are every other Tuesday. So thanks for coming in, enjoying some delicious beers. We actually have a bunch of local breweries here. Give me that.
Sorry.
A bunch of local breweries here. We have Carson's Brewing from Evansville, Scarlet Lane Brewing from McCordsville, Tin Man Brewing from Evansville, and then Too Deep from Indianapolis, which I was earlier enjoying.
Did you say Too Deep?
I did say
Too deep.
Okay.
In Too Deep? Is that like a step into electric boogaloo? No? Okay.
This has already gone off the rails.
It is.
Yeah, any electric boogaloo reference.
And
You're
since he
going
jumped in before
way
he was
back.
introduced, I can jump in. I think In Too Deep's famous hit was Back to the Hotel.
Absolutely.
I think that's the reference that
Yeah.
you're making.
Good
Yeah,
Lord.
So I can jump right off the rails with you any old time. Let's go.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
For those of you who aren't familiar with us, who are here at Chatham just enjoying a nice dinner, and
This is gonna be bad.
it's going to be bad for you. It's going to be a bad time for you. But anyway, Permanent Relegation Podcast. We do a soccer podcast, local beer, local food, all sorts of different stuff. But right now we are welcoming, which is kind of weird because we've been calling ourselves the voice of the Brickyard Battalion for some reason, and now we're welcoming the voice of Indy 11, like the official dudes.
Like the professional version of us.
We
and
got
way better.
blazers and everything.
You do.
First off, I think those Blazers are shinier than last year.
I actually I got an endorsement deal with Turtle Wax during the off season. I shined mine up real nice.
Son of a
I was
gun.
gonna say it's waterproof. It just looks like it has a nice waterproof
Yeah.
glaze on
Yeah,
it.
it's an interesting look.
It pops a little bit better on TV than the ones did last year. So I don't know if it's better lighting or if it's just some kind of.
Trust me, they're the
Glisten?
same blazers, so it must be different cameras.
Yeah, it could be the lighting. We got the LED lights now this
Ooh,
year.
There you go. You have LED lights now?
I think so.
Pretty
Yeah.
fancy.
Moving
I
up
think
from
so. I
season
don't-
one.
We got re-signed.
I'm
Good.
Andy.
Good. I'm Chris.
Chris, and then these two guys across the table
Let
here.
them introduce themselves because there's no point in us introducing
Arlo
ourselves.
White, Ian Dark. Today with you
Ooh,
fellas.
all right.
Wow.
Not even allowed to speak for yourself.
Yeah,
That's
no,
good.
no.
Either am I most
That's the
of the
way it
time.
goes.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I get it. That's how it works. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened since you guys have been on the air, since we've been on the air. You guys do every home game for Indy 11. Greg was on the show last year. Brad, this is your inaugural.
time, yeah.
But you're a longtime listener, which
Yep.
we appreciate.
Yep.
So I guess one of the things I wanted to start with, and we kind of got Greg's story last time, is kind of give us kind of your elevator pitch of the rundown of how you got here.
Did you just use elevator pitch?
I did.
Give me the 5-minute elevator speech and how you're going to sell me about
I'm
why
still
you have
selling.
work.
I'm
Here's
always-
my log line.
ABC.
And so you know, this one keeps time of your answers. If you take away from its talk time, it gets a little pissy about it.
Oh.
So make that about 90 seconds.
We got a lot of pent-up aggression
Yeah.
here today, Mr.
There is.
Rakestraw.
Yeah, we're
I
2
don't even-
minutes in.
I'm not even sure what the hell I did to this guy, but all right.
We're not even
But I
2
like
minutes
it.
in, and Greg's already getting them
He's
again.
on
I love it.
fire. I love it. Body blows. I'm going to slow down.
Yeah, well, I actually started. This was probably close to 30 years in the making. As I first met Peter Wilt when I was with the Chicago Power, and he was the kind of guru behind the Milwaukee Wave. And every team in the league, you'd go and you'd play, and you'd have 1,500 to 2,000 in the stands. You go up to Milwaukee, and there's 17,000, and the place is packed. And I knew I wasn't going to have well, the MLS wasn't around. I wasn't going to have this big lucrative career as a player. So I knew I wanted to do something in soccer. So reached out to Peter and started picking his brain on how he does things and why he does things and why his club is so different than every other one in the league. And that started a friendship that's now been 28 years. So when he wound up in Indianapolis and I was at DePaul, we connected, and he was, this was 2 to 3 years before the 11 started. He was just kind of laying the groundwork and getting to know the soccer culture. And it didn't happen right away. I think it actually happened just a few months before the first game, is that they reached out and asked if I'd be interested, and I put in a resume and went through an interview, and here I am.
When you were going through interviews, did you do like live commentary with Greg? Like, because I think you were first. You were inked already.
Yep.
And then did they go through a bunch of people like, okay, how are they going to react with Greg?
This is not like a cattle call where you had like a line of 25 people and sat down.
It was 50, wasn't it?
I think you were number 3, I believe. But before we actually did the broadcast of the IU game last year that literally, if I make a Wayne's World reference, that might be too old for both of you.
No.
But it was the broadcast of one, the closed circuit reference. That was kind of what it was. It was our run through for the technical crew at the time, which was the in-house MyNDY Wish TV crew. And basically that was watched by the front office and the North American Soccer League to see if we kind of knew what we were doing or we were just two incoherent boobs that they just happened to find. And apparently the league thought we were good enough because we were back the following Saturday and then for the remainder of the year. So we met, that was like the first Friday in April. We met the Monday before that at the team photo shoot at Channel 8. That was the first time.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No.
Yep.
This is unbelievable. I took you out on a date a couple days before at Mo and Johnny's.
Uh-oh.
No, it was a couple days after.
No,
Seriously.
no, it wasn't.
Absolutely.
Not buying it.
Mom and Dad are fighting again.
I had a muffin and coffee. You were sitting in the corner when I walked in. I was hoping we'd walk in together.
I hate it when you guys cry.
And we locked eyes, and that's when I knew this was destined.
Was it maybe it was. I don't know.
Do you have the do you have the receipt for Mo and Johnny's? Because maybe you can use the receipt.
Oh, that's a good
It was thermal. It was thermal. It was
What you
rolled up.
What you got to do is you got to tell these guys what you told me, like either at that meeting or like after the first game, like walking back, because we end up like parking next to each other in the parking lot, and we kind of get there about the same time.
We're besties. I mean, you can admit.
Well, there's that, but no, what was the line? You're like, thank God you're not a douchebag. That was like,
Oh yeah. Oh
that
my
was my
God.
main concern.
That's the thing. You hear his voice everywhere. He's everything in Indianapolis sports, and so
Commercials.
everything. And so I fully expected.
Like,
this.
I'm Greg Rakestraw. You get in your
Exactly.
place and shut up. I'll tell you when to
Exactly.
talk.
Might
Kind
have
of how I
been.
feel. Right. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I
Wait a
understand.
minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So it was unbelievable. I mean, it was he was welcoming, great with advice, down to earth. So it was just the exact opposite of what I expected, and put me at ease right away.
After the first game, thank God you're not a douchebag. That's all I
We
remember.
looked at each other and said, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" He said, "Velociraptor." He said, "What's your favorite non-pornographic magazine?" He said, "Good Housekeeping." Like, oh my God, have we just become best friends? Yes.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There you go.
That's a Step Brothers reference, by the way.
Yeah.
Because in Marshall, they don't have movies yet, so I wanted to make sure that you understood what that reference was.
No, we go to the big city. We go to Terre Haute.
Okay.
Oh, go to the Hauter for the movies
The Hauter,
because they got the
yeah.
multiplex.
They do.
Like staring at me. That's really weird.
Which one am I?
I'm the small town farm guy that had a movie. Had basically one movie theater, one screen.
Wabash.
I had to either go to Huntington or to Peru.
He's looking at you like,
Not
"Oh, you're
Wabash
Wabash."
College, like Wabash.
Here's the great thing is that I grew up in a much bigger area that would be considered the sticks than say he lives in now. So I'm really just getting off this, pent-up aggression from my childhood, making fun of him for living in Marshall, Illinois.
I chose it though. I chose it.
And I chose to leave.
So where are you from originally?
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born in the South Side, and then after college went back up, moved back up, and started playing at that time. Then bounced around a little bit, and wound up coaching at a college up in Minnesota, and then came back down to Indiana. And
So it makes you a Sox fan, huh?
no, actually not. Yeah, I know my whole family
Cubs fan?
was. Yeah.
Wow. I'm not going to reach across because I'm afraid Greg's going to punch me. So I'm just going to stay here in my place.
Yeah.
Use your words.
Yeah, no, never got into the Sox. It was a family team,
Yeah.
But you know what I think it was too? It was WGN. Every day the games were taped, and I think the Sox were on some obscure UHF station at the time. Just couldn't get them.
So what was the interest in the whole broadcasting side of soccer?
Wasn't. I mean, I didn't.
It was one of those things that you're approaching. You're like, I'll give this a shot.
Yeah,
Screw it.
That's you live once.
What's the worst that can happen?
Brad was like, YOLO, let's do this.
His face stretched.
Sort of. No, it was one of those things that it came across in a unique opportunity to try something new, something that you have a passion for, and something you love, and Pretty cool adventure. Pretty cool way to stay involved in the game.
Brian Cook, who is at Soccer with Brian, familiar, Greg?
Yep.
Okay.
I've already read his tweet on my timeline,
Yes.
so I know where you're going.
He actually asked who buys flowers on anniversaries.
Well, that's you want to take that one, pal, because
You normally buy them, don't you?
I'm last to buy anything. You know that. I'm last in line on that.
I
trade.
noticed you didn't bring me eggs when you came to the show
he
tonight.
brought 2 eggs. Have
Yeah.
you gotten you eggs yet?
Yeah,
No.
no. I have not. And the thing was, I honestly wanted to bring more. I did. I had a 4-egg omelet for breakfast this morning, so that was most of the inventory. And then I went out before I left and checked the coop, and they were in the nest. And I reached underneath. I reached underneath while the hen was in the nest, thinking, can I grab one and at least have 3 for these guys?
So these are really that okay.
These eggs are straight from the
Those,
hen's
those
vagina.
eggs were hatched. No, those
vagina.
eggs were laid yesterday.
When they say farm to table, Brad is the guy that makes the 2 happen. He brings it from the farm to your
Yeah.
table.
They don't call him
On
the
a-
magic man for
On a
nothing.
typical week,
Yeah.
how many eggs do you eat?
Got 4 hens. Oh my God, that's frightening because there are some days like I specifically didn't have a 6-egg omelet this morning because
so you
I
have to
needed at
make-
least 2 in case they didn't lay before I.
If you could scoot about 2 feet that way, that would be awesome.
Which way?
Yeah.
the
Other
man.
way, your other left. There you go.
That's cute.
Other left. Yeah.
Wow.
So how many eggs in a week do you eat?
We have 4 hens right now.
Okay.
I wanted 23 and I only got 4.
Okay.
Um,
So it was a compromise.
it was a
then.
compromise. Yeah. She wanted 0. I wanted 23. We settled on 4.
Yeah,
And
that's somewhere in the middle.
so when they're not stressed, I'm getting 3 eggs a day. The last 2 days, I've gotten 4 eggs a day. So I really thought we'd have
Yeah.
more
a
eggs
solid
for
haul.
you guys today, but
It's okay.
you're gonna have to settle for 2.
So are these are obviously cage-free,
Yeah.
free-roam chickens,
Oh yeah,
grass-fed.
yeah.
How do you
This is-
He
relax?
lives in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
These hens have their own county in Illinois that they live in.
Here's the other thing with this too is that when you wash an egg, it has to be refrigerated because there's a film that's on the egg shell that protects it. These are not washed. These are right from the chicken. So you will need to wash them beforehand because the chicken pees and poops and lays eggs out of the exact same hole. So that little brown covering on some of those.
Uh-huh.
And you
It
thought
probably
it'd be
needs to be
you that
washed
would
off.
drag down the show tonight. You were obviously wrong.
This is amazing.
No, yeah.
This is so-
No, I don't think there was any doubt on who was bringing the show down.
We can just end right here. We're
Yeah.
good. No,
Good night.
Wait, 10 minute, yeah.
Record.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and one of the things that really, and I know that I've even heard from around, different podcasts from around the league we kind of talk to and things like that. They really like your guys's, comparatively to some of the other commentary teams, the way that you guys kind of feed off each other. Was that something that was, I mean, obviously it's something that's natural, but when you guys started to talk and started to kind of really get into the game, when did it start to feel like, okay, this is working, this is clicking, we're really kind of not stepping over each other's
Well,
sentences?
it's obvious he has a great knowledge of the sport, and I think it helps that I've done a lot of different things from radio play-by-play to television play-by-play to hosting a talk show, because generally that means I'm actually trying to have a conversation with you on television, and it's the one thing that's great about having done the 2 different types of play-by-play, because in radio, the play-by-play guy has to just keep talking. It has to. You don't have to describe everything in every pass, but you got to come darn close to it. In TV, it's almost like we're setting up the commentary track for the DVD. You know, I don't have to tell you exactly which, every pass and where it's going and things like that. You can see that for yourself. I'm trying to provide relevant information, and frankly, there are a lot of times when I simply ask Brad a question, hey, why'd that just happen? And let him go. And so the fact is that the 2 of us are actually listening to each other during the broadcast.
During the broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, actually, it was, what was it? What game was it? That was the last one that we played.
Carolina.
Yeah. He made a reference. It cracked me up. He's given a very, very, he's like, this is what we're doing. And you go in and Pena takes a shot from really close. You go, oh, he was too close.
He was
Like,
20. He was 20 feet too close.
You just pick it up there and you can, Greg just goes silent for a second. And
I'm laughing.
Yeah, you're just like, It just comes out of nowhere. Hey, he's just 20 feet too close.
No one to drop the mic and shut up.
It's hilarious. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you actually hear Brad drop the mic.
Andy sends me a message. He goes, "Did you just hear that?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Well, I tell you, another answer to that question too is as seasoned as Greg is in doing this,
AKA old.
seasoned,
Yes,
yeah,
thanks.
old.
Appreciate it.
There are, he leaves those little gaps where there's the opportunity to go in, and he leaves enough of them that when there is something to comment on, he gives me the space to do it. And
So you got to be on your game. You got to be ready to go.
I tell you, not with him, because when I'm off, he's phenomenal. He picks it up and he's flawless.
You guys are so.
He's my guy.
Oh my God, you guys, this is so
I need a
emotional.
tissue.
Dude, those glasses are getting super
They are.
foggy.
Big time. No doubt.
So
When can we be like this? This is how we need to be.
we're like this off the air.
This
We
was
just hug
actually.
and cry off the
We
air.
brought you on because this was actually we needed a therapy session.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's an intervention.
we do. It's just I feel like we've grown distant.
Well, how
I
often
don't
do you
like
guys
it.
see each other?
Oh, jeez.
At least once a week.
Okay,
That's the thing is we never see each other other than the broadcast
Yeah.
days.
Do you
at
guys,
this point,
well, and
so.
do you guys talk to each other between weeks
Like
and things like
messaging
that?
and stuff.
Believe it or not, we actually do we do the broadcast production calls like the week before, like, the week of the game. So sometimes we spend a good 10, 15 minutes talking to each other before a game broadcast. It's amazing how
Yeah.
that works. So this week's is tomorrow morning. So
Sure.
hilarity should ensue.
Well, I mean, we talk to each other almost every day, and there was a time though that we basically, because I lived in his house for a while.
But thankfully you got a job.
No, I had a job.
Oh, okay.
I had a job.
See, I can make fun of him too. I just want to let you know that.
So good. No.
It's so good.
Somebody else
No, but it
thought better
was.
than me.
But no, it's funny you bring that up because it's like any relationship. You start realizing how much it is like a regular relationship
Yeah.
because the more time we spend together, you get to a point you go, I just kind of don't want to see you right now.
Yeah.
Like we spent too much time together. It's affecting everything. It's so funny. So sometimes not being around each other all the time is great.
Yeah.
Like this is fresh.
But the funny thing is that like Greg Wiedekamp is our producer from Webstream Sports this year, who's producing the broadcast for Channel 8. And so Greg will send out, like beginning of the week, which he did yesterday, this email, hey, here's what I'm thinking for the Open. And then within like 15 minutes, both of us have sent like War and Peace.
Yeah.
I sent like paragraphs on, here's this. And this is for like 2 minutes of the intro, to where we always have way too much information that thankfully we find a way to pare down before we actually go to the game broadcast. So
But much better that way, having that extra information and a bunch of stuff that you can bounce around in your head. So
Yeah.
when it comes time, you're ready to speak about it.
right.
Was it so now a lot of comments online, obviously you're the emotional one.
Where did that come from?
it's true.
Oh no,
Don't deny it.
Your
Oh, no.
commentary turns into a series of grunts when the ball's
It
inside
does.
of the 18.
I'm telling you what. Maybe you don't know, and I don't know this about myself till I start watching the show. The weird shit that I do, but all of a sudden you're like,
Nah, you can't tell who's grunting. It could be Rake.
Yep. No, because his is a very distinct.
It's 100% you, and it's usually like if there is a foul or if there is an like some guy who's open, and it's like and you miss it, and you just hear Brad go, oh man, oh he was so open.
Is that true?
You've heard me tell you this a lot. This should
Do you
not
block
be,
this out?
this should
Yeah.
not be new information to you.
You
It
really,
is. Brand new.
and you are you're known around the conversations on Facebook and Reddit and things like that.
All
as
social
the
media.
as the emotional one.
Oh, you
That's
gotta be
okay.
kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
No, that's good.
No, it's
Yeah,
no, it's-
okay.
You know what's great about it though is you're a fan. You're a fan, and you're also a coach, and you go into coach mode. I can
Yeah,
hear the
no,
coach
no,
mode.
I see that.
He never leaves coach mode. Trust me.
I see that. I get down, I'm on my, in a crouch, so I'm
Even
standing
when-
for a
even
lot of the
look-
game.
Rick was in the middle of saying that, and you even looked over like,
Yeah. What?
say it. Say it.
Has it gotten to a point where Brad just takes off the blazer and he's like, I can't, I gotta loosen up the tie. I'm
Can't do
getting
it.
real upset.
Man.
You want to tell him how many times you've actually tied your tie?
Oh, does he tie your tie for you?
No.
Oh, that's so
I think I did
sweet.
that one time last year. I think I did.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't that? Oh,
Yeah,
man. We gotta get a picture of that.
No,
next
he
year.
did. He did tie it. So I've actually tied it once. Rake tied it year one, and I just kept loosening it and slipping it over my head. But I tied it for year two, so I've actually tied that tie one time.
You are Andy. This is
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's perfect.
Here's the scary thing. I almost wore a backwards baseball hat today too.
Should
That
have.
would have been.
You should have. I should have.
I can aspire to great things now. I realize it.
There's a means to an end. We're basically looking into an 8 ball.
Wait. But who's aspiring to? Is it me aspiring or you aspiring? Which is the?
I don't know. It's you aspired to be.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But
You too can come and wear cargo shorts to it.
It's fine. It's
Breathable,
it's supposed, you know what? It's
No,
supposed to be
it's awesome.
spring. It's supposed to be warm. I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I gotta have a lot of
Trying to
breathing
breathe.
here.
Trying to breathe.
So let's transition into the team.
Hold on. What's
Oh.
the ink mean?
Oh, that's my son's name.
Oh, is it? What's the stuff underneath it and over it?
It's Spanish because his mom is Mexican.
I think that's arm hair, Brad.
But it means the path begins with one small step.
Brilliant. I like that.
It's actually, he was a big fan of Lost, and he was really obsessive about it. So he says it's his son, but really,
Yeah, I'm
it's,
just a big fan of it. Well,
he's like,
that's what
see
he's
you in
named
another,
after.
really what this means is see you in another lifetime, brother. That's really what it is. So
Yeah, pretty much. But so, do you ever? And obviously, because you don't know it, so I'll ask Greg. Does he ever restrain himself from getting too emotional? Because you can hear it. It almost sounds like he's.
I'm just glad he restrained himself from swearing. That was my major concern.
I have no idea who you guys are talking about at this moment.
Because again, he doesn't swear a lot in everyday conversation, but yeah, it is unleashed in the broadcast booth. Not rampant homerism or cheering for the Indy 11, but oh yeah, there are things you have no idea that you're reacting on a microphone to some of the stuff you're saying.
All right.
You just go.
Next topic.
maybe don't ever go back and listen to the tapes.
Yeah.
Don't.
I was gonna say, don't you go back and watch the games? Watch.
He does. And it's just white
Yeah.
noise to him. He goes, I don't hear anything. It's
You
just-
know what? I don't need to hear. My voice. I'll turn the volume down.
Yeah, you don't want to hear your
I don't.
voice.
Yeah, I'm tired.
You don't
of
like it,
I've
dude.
It
listened to
takes
my
him
voice for
6 hours to
51
get
years.
home. He can't get back and watch the tape delay broadcast. It takes so long.
That was actually one of the things I was talking about the other day. Is obviously being in broadcasting for so long, you get used to hearing your own voice and being like when he started doing the podcast. He's like, I hate hearing myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear myself. I don't want to hear myself.
It's the same in coaching. You know, you repeat yourself. You're using the same tones, the same inflections. You're using a lot of the same words. You just get so tired of saying
We
the
just all
same
don't
thing.
have great voices like Rakestraw.
Ridiculous. The
It's-
pipes
yeah,
on
it's
that guy, huh?
and it doesn't matter what he's talking about. Like
No.
I really had an intention of come up with the most absurd little thing to have him read.
Would you like me to
Yeah.
read the menu?
Oh, tell us what kind of beers and give you something off the menu.
Scotch eggs. 2 extra large hard-boiled eggs wrapped in our special chorizo and house-made breading. Deep fried to a crispy.
Give me.
golden
I'm ready.
brown
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm ready. Thanks.
God, that's soothing. That is so soothing.
I don't even
You know
know
what?
what he said,
You
but
know
I
what? He
like
did that without even pre-reading. Didn't even pre-read.
Oh, he
Just
it's
gotta go.
unbelievable. They'll say into the earpieces, "Hey, you got 6 minutes to fill," and he's like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." It's like, what the heck?
He's trying.
And you start sweating, and all of a sudden you start hearing Brad go.
I'm good for 10 seconds, Rake. You got the other 550 here.
He's over here. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. I don't know.
Greg gets into that mode where it's
That's where you do things like, hey, the upcoming home schedule for the Indy 11, and just start rattling off home
if we
days.
want to make a Wayne's World reference, you're Handsome Dan, and you're just rattling off everything, and everybody, and they're like,
Yep.
This guy blows goats.
I have proof.
So, do you find yourself? Have you basically found? You guys are fans, obviously. You're fans of the game. What's your club? Do you support a club outside of Indy 11? Do you watch soccer outside? I mean, we talked to a lot of players who are like, I don't support a club. I don't watch any soccer at all.
Yeah, it's interesting because when it becomes your job, it becomes.
Here it comes. This is I don't support anything. I don't care. Just kidding.
No, Greg supports some clubs.
Mhm.
Ones you've never heard of in the
No.
third. No,
No.
I know which one.
DePaul men's soccer.
Attaboy.
That's my team.
Attaboy. Got a T-shirt on the shelf
I've
as
been to
well.
one game, and you lost on the most borderline
Oh,
miracle / crappy goal I've
Jesus.
ever seen.
Don't even start.
I've never seen a goal like this. It was like a 5-car pileup at the top of the 18. It was like every dude that was on the field met at the ball at the same time. Ball shoots 10 feet up into the air, somehow heads towards the goal, and the first dude to get out of the pile played for Franklin, chipped it in and you lose at Franklin. Good going.
Outshot 14 to we outshot them 14-3.
So that locker room at halftime was probably not a happy locker room.
Here's the no. Hey, 0-0 at halftime. They'd had
So
two
the locker
shots.
room
They got
after the game.
one shot in the second half, and the entire instruction in the second half was,
Park
"This
the
is
bus,
the one
park
thing.
the bus."
No. This is the one thing that can beat you. Don't let that happen." And they let it happen.
Wait, a car crash at the 18? You literally go over that
Yeah.
scenario?
Yeah,
There's going to be a car crash with like
Exactly.
10 guys in the box.
that's wisdom.
Jesus,
That's
sir.
vision.
The fact that you knew that would happen and you couldn't stop it,
Yeah.
you probably.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm haunted by that.
So this, then, I got to show you this since if you didn't get to see this.
What is it? A
already
grunt?
today. Did you
Some
see this
world-class
today?
goalie
No, I
right
didn't.
here,
Watch
brother.
this today.
Watch this. This
Look
looks
at
like
this
you
save.
back in the day.
Oh my God!
Yes, that happened
Oh.
today. Literally, this man was on fire today.
Holy smoke!
Even
That's
You made that play when you played in Denmark, right?
Actually, to be honest with you,
Ter Stegen.
that I made a save similar to that, not even close. Okay, not even close. I'm not even gonna pretend I was at that level. But I made a save like that against Milwaukee Wave in Milwaukee in front of 17,000.
Wow.
Shut the whole arena up. They thought it was in.
Yeah, no, literally the whole
Did you stand
arena
up
Byron
and
thought
puff
it
your
was
chest out?
Final seconds of the game. It was a 2-on-none coming in. It did 2-point goal, so we were up by a point. It's the guy passes it across the box. Guy hits it far post. Just get a finger to it, and it rolls along the board. So at first you couldn't see that it didn't go in the net, and you just assumed it went in the net. So the whole place is going crazy, and then just silence as the ball trickles out. Awesome moment in my life.
You're like, that is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell my kids.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, sad.
broadcasting for Indy 11, coaching for this. No, having kids, no.
Having
That
chickens.
one
Hey,
save.
Having
no,
fried
the
fresh
chickens that is a highlight right now. I am
I hope your
so
wife's-
into
I hope
that.
your wife is not listening right now. So you're going to get yourself in trouble the way that I did with Ursal. So we did when we went to the gala, the Indy Gala. We were doing kind of our
Did
kind
we
of
get
road.
invited to the Indy Gala, by the way?
No.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to do my David Letterman here.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe to MC it or DJ it.
Continue.
Okay,
Yes.
so
We were there doing media while you guys were just sleeping.
did you even know there was? No, I'm just kidding.
To be honest, we were really drunk.
Yeah. So we came up with a bunch of road
It was an open
questions
bar.
for players, like kind of guerrilla style, like
Mhm.
3 quick questions. And so one of
I
the
wouldn't see
questions,
that happening at all.
No, it
That
was
stuns
great.
me.
So with
This guy
Ursal,
had a huge coif of hair. When he first met Christian had the
just let him go on.
European.
He likes to talk about my hair because he has.
I
very
have none.
little of
That's
it,
why I wear
so
a hat.
I'll let him go on.
I'm
That's
balding. It's whatever. This
Okay.
guy had the greatest
Why do
coif
we
of
have to
hair
always go back to Christian? We don't need to talk about this again.
Because-
We're talking about Ursal.
because
focus.
it bothers him.
I'm
You have
just-
problems focusing?
Yes.
He has problems. Yes, this
Yeah,
ADD.
I know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
High five?
Dude, yeah. No
All right.
kidding, man. What the hell?
Oh
Where
wait,
have
we
you
just
been?
did the awkward.
Just like long lost
Ganger.
Me and Greg are sitting here like, okay, like literally both the
How
clowns.
do we get out of here?
Anyway, the quick story is he hates it because it got him so angry because he took so long his hair's perfect. He was even talking about it on the way
be
there.
on film. You want to look good,
Yeah.
right?
Meets Christian, that's when Christian had the
Hey, my
the
God, you're
slicked
going to
over
a gala.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gala,
Sees
baby. I'm going to the
Christian.
ball. Cinderella here's going to the ball. I mean, I'm there. I'm there. I mean, I'm excited.
Sees Christian, and Christian immediately goes, "Nah!" Like that, just messes up his hair.
Because he thinks, hey, I'm 6'5" and nobody's going to mess with me. And
Right,
so I look
right.
at this dude. I'm thinking to myself, like,
You can
he's
see
really
it in the
fucking
video.
big. Like,
In the video, you can see he's so pissed. He's like, "Oh my god!" This guy
So-
just
So you shaved your head for that reason?
yeah, it took a year. It took a year and 2 months. But I said,
Deep-seated.
yeah, why not? I know it just kept festering.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
anyways, we get Ursal. And one of the questions I asked him was if he was in a witness protection program, what would it be his name? And he thinks about it, and he goes, Salvatore. I was like, why Salvatore? He goes, I like the name. It sounds good. And I said, all right. So the question that got me in trouble, I go, all right, what is the one thing in your life that you will not share? Like one thing. I was like, for me, it's like Cheez-Its. Like, do not ask me for Cheez-Its.
Some guys said gummy bears. Some guys
I
said,
said, for me, it's Cheez-Its. Do not ask me for Cheez-Its. I don't care who you are. You're not getting them. He goes, well, I have to say my wife. And I looked at him, and I looked at Andy, and I go,
You're in trouble.
Ursal, you just got me. He goes, well, it just seemed like the obvious answer. And I was like,
Well, Cheez-Its is a pretty good answer,
I mean,
too.
come on. I mean, they've been primed. They're matured. I mean, the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Ursal, so I know what this means to get in trouble. Yeah, it's great. So you're going to get yourself in trouble about, the hens. It's all about the hens right now.
Andy, you want to talk about something else?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Help your boy out here.
Oh yeah. Well, the story would have only been half as long if we didn't have Mr. Tangent, so we're good.
That is true. That is
Going
true.
back to my original question,
Okay.
was what club he supports.
Yes. Rounding back.
Well, I like the national team, and I like the Danish national team too. My wife's from Denmark. Spent some time over there, so big fan of them. I don't know if you guys were around and into international soccer when they made the run back with Schmeichel in goal and the Lautrup brothers, and that was just an epic team. They didn't even make the They didn't even qualify for that. And then there was the Civil War in Yugoslavia. That knocked them out, and so all the Danes are out on the beach.
94.
Yeah, and they get this call that says, "Hey, you're in. You're the alternate," and they come in and they win it. And Schmeichel was phenomenal in that. And so since that, and the Danish ties, I'm trying to make up with my wife right now. With the Danish ties, anything Danish, I really am a fan of.
Okay. And to rehash your club, the club you support.
Wigan.
Yes.
And where are they right now?
League.
League.
That's the grunt I think you guys are hearing.
No, that's
but
yours.
at least as opposed to Blackpool last week, they actually finished their last game as opposed to just having their fans, storm the pitch
Oh, jeez.
to burn the place down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically burn the place down.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
you want to do that now?
I want to just give a quick before we get to team talk and get kind of serious here for a second. So I have we'll go through just a few here. So I have random people's, places, things. One word answer, the first thing that pops in as a word association for this. Okay. So thread's a terrible one. All right. All right.
Did I win? I won that one, didn't I? I won the first
Who
one.
made these?
I did. This is going to be great. All right. No, the best team in the world soccer-wise, 2014-2015, this year. Club team. Best club team.
These seem all totally biased, by the way.
Nope.
Barcelona.
Okay.
Barca.
I completely agree with that. Alex, I hate you.
As he's sitting there with the Real Madrid jersey on.
All right. Maradona.
Handball.
Hand to God.
Okay.
God, you see that you said that's so much better than handball. That's so much better than handball.
All right. USMNT.
God, I hate the fact that
It's him answer first because he's just copying all your shit. So
yeah, he won't copy this one. Go ahead.
Crappy.
The first word that popped in my mind was Gansler. I don't know why. I don't know why. That shouldn't be the first thing that.
okay.
What's going on Twitter?
All right. USWNT.
Abby.
Morgan.
I was going to say, I was gonna say Sydney.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All
right.
Look at you, Lash LaRue.
The best NASL announced team.
Uh-oh.
Jacksonville.
I was going to say JP and whoever's with him with the Cosmos.
Yeah, the first one that popped into my mind was San Antonio.
Atlanta. No.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Best soccer venue.
Like in the world.
Yes, in the world.
What's the name of your stadium in Greencastle?
Revis Stadium.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah,
Well, there we
I
go.
kind of like that one too.
You got to, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
All right. EPL. English Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's, you know.
You can't
Yes.
go first because then you put that in my mind and I can't think of another thought. So yes.
Yes is the answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't give you a one-word answer. It's what wakes me up every Saturday and Sunday morning.
Yeah, right.
Works.
EPL.
Here at Fisher's Chatham Tap.
All right. Indy 11.
Awesome.
Wilt.
Okay. That's
That's
funny.
a- that's a good one.
Following up. Peter Wilt. That's great.
Ridiculous.
Scarf.
Schlaps. Schlaps.
That's a good one.
Okay, well, this is good. The striker's so nice they named him twice.
The guy whose name I kept saying incorrectly for the first two games of the season.
Do you know who this is?
Vocic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wojciech.
All right. I'll give you just two more. Soccer Saturday.
Let Brad go first.
Entertaining.
That was the opposite of what I was thinking.
Okay. Cool. No, just the
Yeah,
opposite.
that was it. That was
All
it.
right. All right.
What's the opposite entertaining?
All right. So these two. All right. Messy.
Oh, brilliant.
Looks like Jim Sorgi.
I always said Hobbit, but that's great.
That's a
Okay.
solid
Wow.
reference.
All right. And CR7. There it is.
Yeah.
There's one of those grunts in the
Yeah.
booth.
God, I'm embarrassed to say this one, but shirtless.
Okay. Oh,
Calvin
Can we
Klein.
edit that? That was Rakestraw that said that, I think, right?
How about majestic? How about that?
That's
All right.
I like that.
Logan Lane of the USMT.
Who just won free tickets from me
Yes.
earlier today.
Yes,
Yeah.
he said I was going to say dumpster fire, but crappy works.
Oh, man, now I feel bad.
And Luis Suarez.
Biter.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it is.
Diver. The dude has become a diver. Like, no, he went to Barcelona and the dude dives everywhere. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that is
I
what
don't
the
know.
league is known for. Just a bunch of divers. Okay. Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates.
Oh, hey, I saw them in concert in high school.
This makes this guy jealous.
Sarah Smiles.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
brilliant.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
There
Yeah,
you go.
One.
that's a good one.
So what was in terms of so let's talk team, obviously, and we're not going to talk about last year because I've already gotten in trouble from a couple of times just to be like we're not talking about last year anymore. So this year, how do you think the team has done? What, 5 games in?
Without getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, no, I think they've done well. I mean, you look at how they finished last year, and I think there was a little bit of chaos that got sorted out at the end that's carried over into this year, and the discipline on the back line has been great to see. I think, the games have been exciting. It's not like when's it going to happen, when's that horrible moment going to happen. It's now this is possible. This team actually looks good. Disappointed a little bit in the rhythm up top, but I think that's going to come. But really pleased with the way that they're organized defensively right now.
Greg?
Better with room for improvement.
Yeah.
The defensive play has been solid. Even last week with Keith in goal instead of Christian.
I like Cardona. I'm going to say I'm a Cardona fan.
But they did a very good job. Midfield has been good. They got to get more from up front. They're getting very little right now from their forwards, and that's a problem.
So do you guys watch the away games live or?
Usually I watch them a day or two removed.
Okay.
I'll go back and kind of watch and study before the next week's game to talk about them.
I don't know if I've ever been more furious watching
Let
an
him
away game.
follow that up because you got the professional. I go back a couple days and I just take the film and I break it down. How about you?
Yeah, it's very, very different because we don't get good internet out at the farm.
Uh-oh.
So if I'm
It's like
if I'm
HughesNet.
yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
HughesNet,
It is.
right?
If I'm out at the farm, I can't watch the game live. So when I'm on the road, I can get it and I'll watch it real time. If I'm at home on a Saturday night, I'll have to wait a couple days to, what'd you say, analyze it or
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever
What's the
that-
word you
yeah,
use?
what is that thing? Whatever that is. So I'll wait a couple days and watch it.
So it's funny that you both kind of make reference to the front there. I kind of went back and I thought about these first 5 games, and I'm
Is
struggling
everybody
with
good?
full 90, please.
Want something to drink?
Anything. Yeah, what I'm struggling with here for me is in 5 games, it's 4 goals. 1 is an own. 1 is what do you want? You.
Oh, I'm good.
This is typical. We take orders.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is not like your normal show.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
One is kind of a gimme
Yeah.
last minute PK.
Yeah.
So really, there's 2. I mean, a goal is a goal. We
Right.
talked about this earlier, but you kind of go right. How much you talk about that back line, and I think the defense has still been taking some flack. Going, oh well, they gave that up at the end. I think without the defense that we have this season, this could be actually way worse. Just because there's not goals going in.
Yeah.
So you have to play really aggressive to try to get the ball back to give more chances.
Well,
What do
you
you
look at that on a couple. You can take your point. You can play it out further. You
Right.
talk about the penalty kick. You talk about the own goal, but then you look at the other 2: the restart that Morales hits in, and then the miracle from Pena.
Right.
These are not goals that are created in the flow of play. So that's a concern, and there's not a player that is aware that is unaware of that. And so that creates a different kind of pressure now in front of the goal, where guys start pressing and guys start trying to do a little bit too much
That's
sometimes.
Jacksonville.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
But where it starts to play in as well is on the back line. I've been in goal with a team that can't score. The pressure to not make a single mistake is suffocating. And the more that grows, if you give up a goal early, similar to Jacksonville, and your team is not scoring multiple goals a game, you're not getting 2. And so the motivation, the energy, the body language, everything changes. It's that pressure that's going to be on that back line to not make a mistake. The human nature sometimes is to keep tucking back and keep tucking back and keep that mistake in a non-dangerous place until you're just dropped so far back that something bad's going to happen innately.
Andy, how do you feel about this? We briefly talked, but you kind of sit there and you hear me say what I do and you go, yeah, it sounds good.
Well, no, I agree with it just because of the fact that, especially with the Jacksonville game, the missed opportunities were.
I mean, let's be honest. The keeper gave us gimmies. There was some dancing on the outside of the box. I'm going, this is it.
There's wide open. It was wide open chances. It was, there was chances for two or three sweaty goals, and it seemed like it was just like, okay, I don't know where the goal is right now, and nothing happened, and it was extremely frustrating. And so, getting someone like the new signing, where everybody's like, hey, new signing's coming, and I'm thinking, oh, it's probably going to be somebody offensive. It's going to be an offensive threat. It's going to be maybe a Cleberson replacement, because Cleberson seems to be, when he was in last year, seemed to be very offensively minded, and there isn't anybody like that going on right now.
Rick?
There's always moves that can be made during the course of the year and in between the seasons.
Man, he's so good. I'm going to deflect this shit. I'm not going to say anything that's going to get me any type.
Well, that's fine, and it is one of these things where that's the biggest thing. I was talking to, if you guys haven't checked it out, James Cormack did a really good review on bloodyshambles.com, I think is what his website is. But he did a great review of breaking down formations, breaking down like what could have happened, where the mistakes were, and things like that. And it seems like there are some glaring things that can be fixed that haven't been fixed yet.
There are some. Go ahead. Would you like to repeat it? I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Skittles.
Well, I think
Skittles.
I think the last 2 weeks, I mean, the issues in Jacksonville carried over from the game 2 weeks prior to that against Carolina, where there were opportunities. Yeah. And clearly in the Carolina game, Indy had the better of the possession. Indy seemingly had the better of it for 80 minutes, and Carolina cashed in on what was easily their best opportunity. And that one kind of momentary pause from the defense is what cost them the full 3 points. And I don't know if that had a carryover effect because of the bye or not, but Jacksonville was a team that's pretty much been giving up at least 2 or 3 every week. And you saw it in how Jacksonville played from a stylistic standpoint. They were very much, damn the torpedoes, we're going forward, we're going to go for it. We're going to play an exciting brand of soccer that's going to leave us exposed on the back end from time to time. And Indy couldn't cash in for that. And so now what the concern is, kind of what Brad was saying, is this has become as much of a mental issue or mental block as in worrying about that goal looks like it's thimble sized right now for this team. That's one of the things you worry about coming into a game like Minnesota.
Yeah, and that's there's a different mindset. You're those great scorers, they just have ice in their veins. They're standing in front of the goal and they'll miss 10 of them and it won't phase them.
Right.
And when you're young and you're starting your careers and you're trying to gain some traction as a pro, you miss those. You carry them a little bit longer.
And out of everybody though, I gotta say, I mean, Brian Brown, I like Brian Brown. I like his
Hard
style.
not to like him.
Yeah, man. I mean, a guy named Rambo. I mean, first and foremost, I need to get him on. I just want to know, where did that come from?
Where did Rambo come from?
Yeah. And then, no, he has a nose for the goal. He's aggressive in his pace. I mean, that guy's fantastic for that. But even with him, it's I don't know. I guess every week you literally have coach on and you talk to coach. Mm-hmm. And so you hear these game plans, you hear everything that's going to be happening in the game. So you kind of get a little bit of insight as you talk to coach, and I'm not going to ask you anything that's going to get you into any water here. But like, you hear these game plans. I mean, you listen. Mm-hmm. You're very, very good at this. So what are you hearing when you hear this? Because I mean, we had him on, and I could tell you there's one thing coach is really good at. Coach will talk, and coach will talk, and he will give you it's like, I swear to God, he's got like a bullet point list of shit. And he just goes through, and you're just sitting there. When we had him on the show, I was sitting there, and we were live on YouTube, and I'm looking at Andy, and I'm going, like this is incredible. Like he just went for 10 minutes straight, didn't
Right.
stop. So how do you disseminate that, and what are you actually hearing? I mean, when you cut through all of that,
You're hearing a team that is going to be defense first,
Okay.
and in theory is going to try to win a lot of 1-0, maybe 2-1 games.
Okay.
And it was clear in how the team was put together that the mistakes that happened early last year that didn't happen during the run of success at the end of last season, that was the philosophy, right? Janicki's one of the first signings that was brought in. Building there with maybe more defensive midfielders. And the one thing that when you look at the forwards right now for this team, it's a very young group. Charlie Rugg did some really good things here for 5 games last year. Still very excited that he's going to be here for the entirety of the season. And yes, it was an OG that was scored against Carolina, but it was really forced by the play that Charlie Rugg made. And if that's not an own goal, that ball gets to Dylan Maris to tap in. Dylan scores, and we kind of look at that goal a little bit differently. So a lot of own goals are mistakes. That one was kind of a forced mistake, which is what the Indy 11, were doing. But it is a team that has a lot of veteran guys, midfield and defensively. Offensively, it is very young. And the one thing, of all the things that Brad and I kind of learned about the league last year, is that it gets tougher and tougher in Major League Soccer. I think there's a trickle-down effect north to the NASL. It's tough for guys to go straight from college to the pros anymore and be impact players. And if you look at the guys that are forwards, Brian's 23, Woj is 24, Charlie Rugg's 24, 25. It's a young group, and so there's talent there. I think right now they're going through a little bit of struggle, and hopefully that goes away, because if you haven't had the match experience to say maybe some of the guys behind you have had, you start to question yourself a little bit more.
Well, and being a coach, how much does that affect you especially when you're watching the game? We talked about it earlier. You get into coach mode a little bit, but as Greg said, you never leave it. Is it hard for you to be like, okay, this is where it could go. This is what I'm seeing potential-wise of moving things around. Do you have any kind of conversations with staff and things like that because of your pedigree, if you will?
No, I don't. And I think that's a lot of that is crossing a line. It's for the high school and club coach, it's the parent coming up and saying, hey, I haven't been to every practice. I haven't seen everything that your guys are doing, but let me tell you how to put them into the right position. So
that never happens, does it?
Never. So
parents are so hands-off with their kids,
great.
right?
They're great. But that would be the
they're great.
That would be the equivalent. I think if you're going to attend every practice and every coach's meeting and understand things, then you have the ability to actually have an educated opinion on things. The game plans that the guys are putting together off of the videos, and you listen to it, and even though a lot of it is coach speak, when you pull out the little tactical elements, they're good. They're good thoughts, and they're based on what they've seen in film, and they're based on what they've seen from their own team. At some point, too, there is an execution error. I can put this game plan together in the world, but if the players I have out there aren't executing, then I have to look at, is it the player? Is it the way we're training them? Or why is that the breakdown? Because nobody enters a game with a game plan to lose. So it's there.
But do you enter, unless you're Jose Mourinho and you enter a game plan to tie, and then there's that. Okay.
You come in parking the bus within 5 minutes.
We're going to get 0-0 today. Guys, I just want you 11 in the box. I want you to move.
Get fired up for that, fellas.
We got this. We
clinched a title with a month to go.
That should tell you the state of the EPL. That's all I'll say about that.
Man.
The special one.
I mean,
don't question.
Swansea,
don't question the
Arsenal,
special one.
Swansea, Man United. That should tell you everything you need to know about the state of the talent that's happening. It's not the same EPL that you love. There is a downgrade in talent. Everybody that seems really, really great in EPL, I'll give Suarez a pass here because he's been fantastic this year, but he was easily the greatest player last year. We talked about this on the show, and he's made a great transition. But all these other guys, you see them when they play, and when it's Champions League, these guys disappear when they play other leagues' best teams.
Is that kind of like when Cristiano Ronaldo went from the EPL over to La Liga?
He was never naturally an EPL player. I mean, he just wasn't. So I mean, his play style being from Portugal is destined for La Liga. So, anyways, moving on. Just saying.
As Chris gets off his
everybody
soapbox.
in the damn EPL. I get it. I get it. Chelsea. God, I hate Jose Mourinho. Anyways, that's just my.
I'll
that's
tell you
my,
this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of Hull and Burnley on Saturday. I don't know what you were watching, but I watched 18th place versus 20th, and I was riveted.
We talked about
as
this.
Burnley scored their first goal in 6 weeks.
Yeah. We talked about this. You have 5 teams for 3 spots right now.
Oh, brother, it's down to 4 for 1 at this point because QPR and Burnley are singing the song of the damned at this juncture.
Yeah, because you get.
Right. I loved QPR's game plan against Man City on Sunday. That's described as bend over.
Do you know how freaking painful that is to go 6 weeks without a goal? I mean, it just,
I don't know, what is it like?
It eats 1 week. It eats you up. A loss eats you up. And when it's your job, it doesn't leave you. You take it home. It affects everything you do until you get that next win. That next goal,
sadly,
your soul is empty.
Sadly, they're not They're not the only team in the Premier League that went a month without a goal this year. Aston Villa actually had a sponsor for their goal of the month. They had to give back in October. They didn't score the entire month.
No.
Wow.
And Burnley rocks the same thing in April. Didn't score a goal in April.
Well, and that gives me an opportunity to say congratulations. Welcome back to Champions League.
Yeah, right.
Where you can fail out.
It's not over yet. There's still
you'll
time.
make it. You'll be good.
Liverpool's creeping.
Where you can fail out like Liverpool, in Man City, in Arsenal, in Chelsea. So congratulations, you're going to fill that Liverpool spot. I think you're going to get this. You can't tank that bad.
Oh no, when Chelsea won Champions League, they finished the EPL like 6th, I think, the year that they won.
But it didn't matter. They won the Champions League. They qualified. They had to go back.
Right. I'm just saying. You're talking about the fail out. You're just a big hater. It's okay.
No, I'm not a big hater. I actually really enjoy watching. But I'm actually like you. I think it's funny because there is such incredible when you get down to the bottom. And it's kind of the same as La Liga when you watch a Cordova match, and it's like they're getting slaughtered by Sevilla and Atletico and like 8-0, 9-1, and they play some bottom ones. You go, this is actually a really great struggle back and forth because you just look at the top. Those guys are literally. They make a tenth of what some of these top clubs do, and they are out there fighting for literally their lives. Like if we go and we get relegated like us permanently, okay, we are never gonna we can't pay bills. Like we have to we need to stay in Premier League. So it's really really funny. So speaking of players moving back and forth, so this has been a whirlwind type of last couple weeks here. So how much have you guys been privy to or heard? Obviously, when we had the movement of Christian to Montreal. Let's be honest. I think to anybody, it was the worst kept secret that this was not going to be a permanent thing. I think anybody who watches, I'm really trying to get my Greg Rakestraw here. Anybody who watches,
you can't be
knows this is not going to be
even close.
I know. I'm not that voice wise, but it's how he delivers the message.
It's fantastic.
Right. Exactly.
Is your alarm clock, Greg, going, Brad, wake up?
It's time
My
to
ringtone.
My ringtone. Brad, let's do this. So,
Brad,
on the day, Brad.
you have a phone call.
Right. So that this was going to be one game. I think to the layman, you could look at this and go, is this permanent? So, I mean, when you saw this move, what did you think?
I was like, couldn't they just loan him again?
Yeah.
But then I understood why that was not available. And again, it was a matter of simply looking at the roster construction for Montreal. They already had a goalie on the roster that was cup tied, which is why he couldn't play.
Right.
Evan Bush gets the yellow accumulation. Another goalie was hurt. So is Christian going to stay there to be the 3rd or 4th goalie, or go seek another opportunity, including coming back here where he can be a number 1 guy? So the fact that 15 days after he is traded to Montreal, he decides to return to Indianapolis really shouldn't be that big of a surprise to anybody.
What about some of the? I guess there was a lot of backlash. I mean, not a lot of backlash because there were some people that were really excited about having him back.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are blaming Montreal. They're saying, "Oh, this was a shady deal." I think it's a lot of people don't. Obviously, nobody really knows. Unless you're in that office, you're signing contracts. This is where I think of the Peter Wilt conversation where he goes, signed, Peter.
Signed U.S. Soccer.
Signed U.S. Soccer, right. So Nobody really knows what's happening in there. But
Well, really, what this was for was to give Christian a chance to play on that stage.
Yeah.
And you might think it's PR speak, but there's a lot of truth to it. When the club puts out the story 2 weeks ago yesterday that Christian has been traded to Montreal, and Peter has the quote about this being a player's first organization, that's absolutely what it was for. It was a chance to reward Christian and give him an opportunity for taking a chance on coming here when he was the first dude signed by the team, and there was no official team here. And this wasn't even in its infancy. It was in its embryonic stages, and he came here. And so this was a chance to get him that opportunity to play on that stage, one of the biggest stages you will have in North American soccer. And there, I think secondary to that, this is also something that when other players think about playing here and the recruitment process happens about free agency, et cetera, guys will go, all right, they gave him this opportunity. It might have been a temporary detriment to the team, although, again, with Keith Cardona being back there, the team is very confident in his abilities, and I don't think anybody says the 1-0 loss at Jacksonville was on Keith for how he played in that game. This will pay dividends down the road because other guys will say, all right, I know this is an organization that's going to do right by me. It's another reason for people to come and play for the Indy 11.
Yeah, in PR speak, it is essentially like, okay, we have a chance to have Indy 11 be talked about on national media.
Yep.
It's in the same breath as Christian. Everybody's talking about, okay, he came from Indy 11. We're talking about Indy 11. So this gives another PR push business-wise.
Well, and here's what I'll add. It's amazing when we do the Soccer Saturday show, and there's almost two constants every time I have an MLS player or, say, an MLS television analyst or an MLS front office person. There are two things that I don't have to ask or say or prompt them to talk about and get brought up in conversation. Hey, I'm friends with Peter Wilt. Okay? There's one.
Right.
And two, what you guys are doing in Indianapolis is pretty remarkable. And the best example that I can give you is when we had Landon Donovan on the show. That actually aired when we were here for the show, I guess April 18th. When I say
that was like a week or two delay or something like that?
And it was like 3 days delayed on the interview because we'd actually talked to him the day of the U.S. men's national team, the latest installment of Dos a Zero,
right.
against the Mexican C team in San Antonio on April the 15th.
Dude, oh, man, you were unpopular. Just don't ever say that. Oh, my God.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
Yes.
Right. Wasn't even the JV. It was the freshman team that they beat them.
It was the 8th grade team.
Come on, Ray.
See.
Come on.
Anyway. But he goes, if we were talking about, a team that would get 10,000 out of the box in their first year in MLS 10 years ago, we'd be doing cartwheels. So the fact that I don't have to bring it up and Landon Donovan recognizes and hears the stories of what's happening here in Indianapolis, again, take that as a great sign about the soccer community and culture and organization that we're building here in Central Indiana.
So Landon Donovan knows more than Indy Star. Excellent. Great. Moving on. Brad. Okay.
Well, what were you?
I could say that. You can't. I could say that. That's good.
I'm with you.
Okay. And I think we kind of touched on it last time you were here. The impression that you got with that first game. So last year, first game.
You said you were going to talk about
I know.
last year.
Guess what? Guess what? We're talking about the fans now. So it's okay because we're not talking
Why don't we
about
talk
the
about the first game this year?
Okay, first game this year. I think it was louder than last year.
Because to recreate. Right. Like,
Yes.
it's second season. So let's keep that.
What, okay, so good. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Now shut.
Okay.
Yes, and turn his mic down. But no, the thing I was worried about, and I'll be honest with it, I was worried about the fact that we couldn't replicate what happened last year. And then being there first game, and we've been lucky enough to get press passes for some reason.
Do you hear that noise?
This is media.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is.
press.
Yeah, I know. We are technically press.
After
I guess.
what you did with Christian last time, are you still going to keep your press passes, do you think? Or
I've been ridiculed and shamed and publicly shamed. I'm good. My timeout is over.
His
my
attendance has been
suspension is
served.
over. And apparently I still owe us 2 points. But that was the other part they told me. And Brad goes, "How are you going to make up 2 points?" And I went, I wanted to come back and go,
touched it.
oh, wait.
It went 1-1.
So I'm to blame for the loss. oh, could just say something. Never mind. And I just left. I go, all right, fair enough. I'll find out a way.
So
I'll
Twitter
figure out
blew
a way.
up and started calling him 2 points.
Yeah. So right. Just for the ball. 2
Yeah,
points.
so next time you don't touch a ball and they win, there's your 2 points.
Listen, if there's a 1-goal lead anywhere past the 90th minute on Saturday, you do a one-man pitch storm, okay?
Yeah.
Take one for the team.
Oh, I'm just gonna
Shirt off,
kick the
too.
ball out.
Shirt
Right,
off.
Right. I'll do it. Okay.
So your reaction from first game of this year, did you have any reservation from, okay, are we going to be able to replicate this? Because the whole first year buzz is over now. Now the second year is coming. Maybe it's a sophomore jinx type of thing.
Andy will ask you 6 questions. Just hold them all
But
in your brain.
I think they're all the same. They're just rephrased.
Right. Okay. You're done. You're good. buddy.
To be honest, it crossed my mind. Is it possible? Because there's so much energy. There was such electricity last year, and it was new. And I think 2 things. I'm an optimist. I believed it was going to happen. I believe in Peter Wilt and Ursal. I like the moves that they made. The way that they ended last season, I think, played a lot into how this season began. It gave hope to season ticket holders. It gave hope to the fan base. It crossed my mind, but I got to the place where I trusted the city. I knew they'd be there.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing that we even talked about too, is Indianapolis is a fickle city when it comes to their sports teams winning.
Losing.
And Indy 11 seemed to buck that trend. Because once the Pacers started losing, it was just empty in there.
I'm not going to point out the irony of that. If we go back 25 minutes, we literally were sitting here going, we've scored 4 goals in 5 games. And what do we think? I'm not going to say the irony of
Now,
literally
listen,
we're doing the same
You're
thing.
shortchanging. They've scored 5 goals in 5 games. You forgot Brown's chip against the Cosmos goals.
Which, again, isn't a created goal. It's a Jim Maurer.
Agreed.
So all 5 have come in the same
There's one
fashion.
against the Cosmos.
Yep.
There's 2 against San Antonio
Yep.
and 1 against Carolina.
One
against
Atlanta. PK Atlanta.
I apologize. You know what? The fact, man. Hey, listen. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
You
He's
don't.
a genius.
this
Don't matter.
guy-
The fucking Rain Man. I know.
This
Rain
is
Man.
what is sick is I'll be driving in to the stadium and he is on the radio talking some sport. Then I get to the stadium, he's in there, we're going through notes and he's getting ready for the game, does an unbelievable job at the game. Then I'm driving home and he's on a different radio station calling in, talking about sport, some other, it's like the numbers, the names, everything that's in this guy's head is incredible.
Yeah, and he's
No. Let's all just silently stare at him for a minute and just kind of
trying to absorb it.
Mm,
That's why he wears a hat so it doesn't
Yeah.
fall out.
it's just
Look,
what I
you guys
do.
want to see my
Look
new
at
hair, by
him.
the way?
Yeah, I heard about it. Let's see it.
Oh, dude,
It's kind of matted down. So
It's all right. Hey, it's looking good.
nice.
Yeah.
It's looking good. I need to get on that.
What are you doing?
I had a procedure done.
Okay.
IndyNeograph.com. You can see pictures from every
Yep.
week.
Boom,
Bam.
new sponsor.
All right.
I'm sure Dr. Genther is listening right now.
Yeah.
I'm severely doubting that.
What made you decide to do this? I mean,
Was it the Indy 11? Was it the Indy
When there's a
11
new
podcast?
relationship,
yeah.
everybody starts changing a little bit.
No.
And so I think it
But
was.
generally, once you're married for a while, you just go. You just let yourself
I
go.
used-
we haven't
I
been.
used to be able to kind of like
Look
do
at this
the
guy.
Oh, look at this! Wait, who do we got? Oh man!
It's a giant German.
Hey,
Sorry,
hey,
it's a
hey.
giant German. Have a seat, sir. And leave Chris hanging. As you shaved off the beard as well.
He's like a whole new man.
Yeah, I saw that in the sink, man. That was a nice
You know what?
picture.
He's the newest signing to Indy 11, so he had to look like when he was signed back last year, all clean shaven and fresh.
Young, full of hope.
So yeah. So Indy 11, was it because of the broadcast wise, or I mean, you don't have to get personal wise, but it's just you just kind of go into and you go, well, I'm generally on the radio. Yeah, who cares? But
I was able to kind of hide it on TV with how the camera was framed. And then I was doing an interview at a football game down at the University of Indianapolis. The women's basketball coach down there is 7'2". Played at the University of Miami, played overseas for many years, and they decided to take the angle from over top of my head. Not exactly a flattering look. So I'm like, yeah, I think it's time to get something done about this.
But you look great, sir.
Well, thank you. I always look great on the
And you
radio. Look tremendous on the
Face
radio.
for radio.
Absolutely.
So
You're taking my jokes.
Stop staring at my jersey, Christian. Jesus. God. Okay.
So I want to give away tickets. We
give away
we
tickets.
got some tickets. to
Hey,
give away.
look who's back.
Hey, welcome back.
She ate the eggs.
What? Oh, did you eat the eggs? The eggs still there?
You see there's eggs over here, Christian? He brought
Brad
eggs
brought some
Yeah.
from his farm.
I'm a chicken farmer.
straight from the hen's vagina.
Straight from the hen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're giving tickets away.
Yes, I want a question. So what
Yeah.
we usually do is we have guests. I think, Greg, you did this last time that you were here. Create a question
Yep.
for the Twitterverse.
Yep.
To answer a question to win a pair of tickets to the Minnesota game. Could be any question. Doesn't matter what. Could be soccer related. Could be anything.
That son of a bitch has boat shoes, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Boat shoes.
Yeah, they're like boat
Those
shoes.
Canadians.
So we are to create a trivia question
Germans.
Yes.
to give away.
Yes. In 1976, in July, it's going to be something really obscure, guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You start pulling the facts out of that brain.
Oh, trust me. Peter,
got it.
Peter Wilt and
All
John Kaluter have had some really
When-
messed up questions.
All right.
When I was the PA announcer for the Indiana Blast in 1997,
Holy cow.
what team in that league was Brad Hauter playing for?
You called a game that I played in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that meta? It's meta.
So we're going to see who knows their USISL
Oh.
Division III soccer
All
from
right.
Well, now
1997.
you just gave it away when you gave the lead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
It is not the Mid-Michigan Bucks, just so you know.
So restate the
there's-
question.
Okay. My first foray into professional soccer, I was the PA announcer for the Indiana Blast in their debut season of 1997. Unbeknownst to me at that time,
Yep.
my broadcast partner and
Just say partner.
Life
Just say partner. Yeah.
and his words, not mine, bestie,
Life coach.
mentor and inspiration, really, is how I look at him, was playing for another team in that league at that time. What team was Brad playing for?
Do you remember the score?
The Blast weren't very good. I'm assuming we got beat 1-0.
I think it was 2-1 on those,
Either Weigel or the Crawfords might have scored a goal that night.
on that. They had that really wicked breakaways after overtime.
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
Sure,
it was
why
through
not?
That. You don't remember that? It was instead of they would end games with a 35-yard breakaway. You had 5 seconds to get it, and then one year they introduced in that league that every throw-in inside of 35 yards was a kick-in. So anything
That was
from
thankfully not the league the year that I was around.
yeah, everything was a corner kick from 35 and in. Holy cow!
With that, that year the Blast played at Coon Stadium, and it was weird. Fridays, there'd be some Fridays and Saturday nights. That place would be full, 3,500 great, and there were times we played where there was 50 people in that building.
Yep.
Nuts.
And now you're here. What's happened?
No, I just, it's just funny that out of all of them, he goes, just again, in 1997, actually, like, when you think
Yeah.
about how, like, lives intertwine, and here you go, 18 years later, here you guys are together, and it's just,
Brad had hair. I was a college senior. It's amazing how
I had a
that works.
mohawk. I had a mullet at that time.
dude,
Oh, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
So while we're waiting for I want to know how you wanted
If we're
to become,
waiting for the answer, we're going to be here all damn night.
But real quick, though, because I wanted to ask you earlier, how did you become a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I was playing football at the time. It was seventh grade. It was sixth grade moving into seventh grade, and I played at Park Tudor. That was the school I went to, and I played for Dynamo and Carmel and Club, and they didn't have a goalkeeper, and so they usually pick the slowest guy and say, "Hey, go in there." So that's how it started.
And then you stuck with it.
Stuck with it, yeah. I mean, it was. I think it fit me personality wise, and the unfortunate thing is, there weren't goalie coaches at the time. There wasn't anybody to really help polish your craft. So it was, you're learning as you go, and I look at the opportunities that kids have right now, and it's just absolutely incredible. So a lot of it was self-taught. I use soccer camps and go into those in the summertime, and then I had some great Dynamo, some great Carmel coaches that helped along the way. It was luck. It was luck that I got moved to that position and had a skill set that could perform it.
just kind of fell into it, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
So who's your? Do you have a favorite keeper of all time?
Schmeichel. I was actually I was actually in my rookie year was in with the Chicago Power, and then fell madly in love with this Danish woman when I was walking through the airport.
Uh-oh.
And so I tried to get connected with the Danish team, and the only one that I could get connected with was Brøndby, which is a pretty good club. So here I am. I think my first contract was $1,200 a month plus bonuses, and I'm thinking I'm big time. And so then I get this arranged, and I go over to Copenhagen, and I take a bus to the complex, and I'm walking up, and there are 20-some white cars, the exact same look, with their names and numbers on the door. And as I'm walking up to the complex, I'm like, I am so far over my skis right now. I do not belong here. And then I get out to the training field, and Schmeichel is in goal for Brøndby. And it's like, I am never going to see the field. That's the first time I'd ever seen him or heard of him.
Right.
Because at that time, it wasn't, he's in a Danish club. He's not on the world stage yet. And you walk up to practice, and he's 6'5", and he is dominating the game as a goalkeeper. He can throw the ball 60 yards on a rope, and so he's part of the attack as well as part of the defense. And I walked out there, and I'm like, the cars intimidated me in the parking lot, and then I get out there, and there's this giant Viking. It's like, I am not. My future is not in Denmark. I am putting my tail between my legs and going back to the U.S.
Guess what? It figures Rakestraw would ask
Nobody
a
has
question.
no idea.
No
So
idea.
here's what we'll do. We'll get the answer from you. You
Okay.
leave it out there.
Yep.
And then while people do their research.
Should I drop a hint?
Sure.
Team was in Illinois, right?
Hey, I'll tell you. Okay, here's another clue. The chicken is the closest living relative to the dinosaur.
What
There you go.
are you talking
Dude,
about?
Come on.
I feel like the video right now where
You might as
Kanye-
well said the duck flies
I
at
feel
midnight.
like when Kanye is talking to Kobe, he goes, how many records could my records break? And Kobe goes, more records. He's like, but I'm already the best. And he goes, well, you the same animal and a different beast? And he looks at me and goes, what does that mean, Kobe Bryant? Like, that's how I feel right now.
Okay, hold on. Was I Kobe or Kanye?
Right now, I'm Kanye looking at you going, what the heck does that mean?
I'll be Kobe, you be Kanye. That's fine. I'll take
Cool.
that.
Sounds
Take
great.
comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
So we'll get the answer from you.
Like right now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll do it off air.
Okay.
Because then we're gonna talk to this big German bastard too.
Jeez. Oh, my God.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Indiana love.
Yes.
So,
But no, definitely. I wanted to thank both you guys for coming on. You'll have to come on again. You're never invited back.
Thanks.
you know what?
No, definitely invited back. Always.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, guys.
And
A lot of fun.
we haven't had a chance, and I know that Chris, we haven't really had a chance to thank you for letting us do Soccer Saturday, because we did it after the fact, after you came on the show.
Right.
So we really appreciate. Like, we were sitting there going, are we really like doing this right now? This is not. And we kept having to tell ourselves, we're not going to cuss. We're not going to cuss.
Yeah, we did good. We did good. I did good. It's not him you got to worry about. It's me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, so there you go. But, no, thank you. It's one of the few times I've done plenty of public speaking, and it was one of those few times I'm sitting here going, what am I doing? I'm way out of my league. I should not
Despite
be
the
doing
fact
this.
that you're literally sitting in the exact same seat,
It seems different.
doing the exact
different,
same
but it's
thing.
real.
We don't have. We had,
That's your job.
we had Dave in the ear.
Oh, dude,
Yep,
that's-
David Deering.
Yes.
Yep, our man on the ones and twos.
Fantastic.
I actually had him laughing. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, guys, we're
Yeah,
going back in
because
20.
off the air, we were swearing like crazy because we were trying to get it off. We were trying to get rid of
Dave,
it.
what the fuck are we doing right now? And he's just like, okay, all right, you got 20 seconds. We got 20 seconds.
Get it out. Get it out.
Yeah,
Get it out.
But no, we really appreciate.
Sure.
And you guys are hands down what I felt, and we've tweeted it out before. You guys are probably the best broadcast team.
Not probably.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are.
I
Thank
appreciate
Why
it.
would you say probably? That's kind of like, you might be. It may or may not have been deflated.
Keeping us honest.
You could or could not be. It depends.
It's more probable than not.
Not.
Yes,
More probable than
it's
not.
More probable than not that you guys are the best broadcast team in the
In the
NSL.
NSL.
As long as we avoid relegation, that's all I'm
The
concerned about.
craziest part, though, is that you actually start to hear it now because of the ESPN 3 deal, is that we're starting to hear a lot more because that NASL broadcast from last year was just god awful. It kept just you couldn't watch an entire game without it
You
stopping.
just cannot let
Yeah.
last year go, can you?
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm just living in the past.
But this year we've been able to really see a lot of the different broadcast teams, and some of them are probably different from last year too. So
What?
I don't know.
I will do it. I will do a bit of a shameless plug.
Yes.
We are going to do one road game. We're going to do the game against the New York Cosmos on July the 5th. That's where he went to college. That's not where he played.
Sorry, Mike.
Professional
Come on,
soccer.
Smitty.
Come on. Get
He
it
at least got his college right. He played at DePaul. That's correct. But no, professional soccer for a team in the state of Illinois, a major metropolis, at least in the top 12 of population centers in the state of Illinois.
No.
You don't think it's in the top 12?
No, I
Okay.
guarantee it.
All right.
All right, Stanford Lola.
You might be thinking of a
Season
different
tickets. Get out
different
of here. Go home. You're drunk. I'm just kidding.
Chelsea fan. What do you get?
Anyway.
Anyway,
So we're going to do the game from against the Cosmos July the 5th on
gonna be
Wish
fun.
TV the
Because
Sunday
that's-
after July 4th.
that's the game that's not actually going to be on ESPN3, correct?
Which worked out perfectly for that because the Cosmos own their own international sports channel, One World Sport. So
ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They still can't beat us. So where's that get you?
anyway, Brad and I will be doing that game from here, actually. Even though the game we'll be doing it from a studio here in Indianapolis when the team's on the road Sunday, July the 5th.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So you're pulling the Ray Hudson.
Dude, we're totally going in there. I'm going to find out where the hell you are. I got 2 months to figure this out.
Secret location.
Oh, man. Sabotage. Let's
No
go.
sport coats, no ties.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Flip flops.
It really is. It's
All right,
Ray Hudson.
now here's the other thing that we haven't had a chance to. We're doing a live production meeting on the air here. Last year we ended up doing the U.S. Open Cup match for USSoccer.com against the Dayton Dutch Lions. That actually kind of threw off our plans. We were basically going to go with whatever our favorite flat 12 beer was going to be, and just go sit in the BYB and just get completely schnockered that night.
Oh man.
Allegedly.
And so
More probable than not.
if we do not get a home game on the 27th or are not broadcasting that game, I think we may go in costume in the BYB and
What?
see if anybody can recognize us. Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing because we've had a couple of players that have come up in the BIB.
Well, if it's John Dawson, they just go,
Like, Shark.
That's what John
No,
said.
they're just like, hey, what's up, Shark? Shark. They expect him to be there.
with no socks. With no,
I am
John,
not joining this John Dawson bashing.
Yeah.
I'm not,
John,
I'm not bashing
No,
him.
no, that's what he was
I'm
saying.
saying he's expecting to be there because he is one of them.
Right.
I mean, if there's any player on the team that fits the Brickyard Battalion mentality of that crowd,
It's John
it's
Dawson.
John Dawson.
Yeah, but there's no professional player that took that way.
What? Why?
That he'd be in the BYB during games.
Well, in mine, I mean, John, we need you to go in. I don't have my socks. I mean, you
Well,
never
there
know.
was like Brad Bring when he was injured last year.
Mhm.
He made an appearance in that BYB.
Tell you what a warrior, huh? He breaks his foot and still tries to play through it. Are you freaking kidding me?
and you're not giving Brad his proper title, lemonade enthusiast Brad Ring.
That's very true.
That's
That
how you have to
commercial, right?
introduce him. That'll be the case on Saturday. Lemonade enthusiast Brad Ring.
He's a sommelier of lemonades.
Did you see that bomb he hit with his left foot against Carolina?
Yeah.
Right at you guys.
Yep.
Holy smokes!
Yep.
Did he get a hold of that one?
Yep. I also almost I was right next to him as he took out another guy. That was the game where he was just looking to break ankles. He was out on everybody.
He
Like,
was
somebody is on my radar. I'm
destroying
taking you all out. Right.
Yeah.
He came out on this side. I was like, oh man, Brad's on one tonight. So, all right. Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll let you be, and I really appreciate you
Of
guys
course.
coming on. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Awesome.
We
Thank you
don't
very
ever
much.
end this as professionally as you do. I mean, it's literally
Well,
down
we
to
also
the
don't
10.
have sponsors. I mean, we thank Fisher's Chatham
Yet.
for letting us
So
be here.
there's
Yes.
no Honda post game show here.
Come on. 5 seconds. You got this. Finish
Yeah.
this off.
Dude, let's
Right,
go
we got
home.
6 minutes to fill, right?
Greg, you got 10 seconds to finish this off. Go.
It has been an absolute pleasure joining you fellas at the Chatham Tap here in Fishers. We're back here for Soccer Saturday coming up Saturday morning. Join us at 9 a.m.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Glory, Man United.
God, this freaking guy, man. We put him on the spot. He doesn't care.
God.
He is a god. Man. Christian just left his keys here, so we're driving the Honda.
Is it a Volkswagen?
No, it's a Honda.
Hey, hold on. Everybody, we'll be right back. We're going to do some extra time with Christian. So we're going to have him sit down, chat a little bit. So if you guys are watching, just kind of hang tight. Couple-minute break, and then we'll be talking about Christian next. Here we go.
Boom, we're back.
Boom, we're back. We've been live on YouTube the entire time.
Just boring people. Seen a
watching-
dude just smash a sandwich like man versus food over here.
I won. I won.
First off, this guy is like
Done.
10 years younger.
He does. He went back like a year,
He
2
went
years,
back
2
to the
years.
signing.
Yeah. Yep.
He figured, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to come back. Got to have the clean face. It's got to happen.
Kind of. If this is clean face. This is
Shave,
like
yeah.
this would be a full beard for you.
I shaved yesterday.
Jesus.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Sounds good.
So, Christian it is?
It is, yeah.
Neeked.
Something like that.
So you're back again.
So, where you been?
yeah, what the hell?
Here and there, it's like
Just places.
learning other languages and seeing other cultures.
Let's do a quick intro real quick. I'm going to call this like extra time.
Yeah.
Stoppage time with permanent relegation. And friend of the show, friend to you and me, one Christian.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, no. If you had just said you, then that would have been like legit. But as soon as you threw me in, he's like, oh shit, I can't actually, I can't really condone this statement.
No,
it's good.
Wouldn't be authentic. Then.
Once you threw Chris in there. So while you were gone, you listened to the Dawson Ring show, right? Some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Okay. Chris kind of got thrown under the bus because he talked about when he touched the ball.
I heard that part, yeah.
Well, and he lived that part because literally it happened with him. So he has a first-hand account of what happened.
So what were you thinking when that ball rolled up to him and he stopped it?
Don't fucking touch that. I'm telling you, we've already talked about this. He doesn't remember half the games because he goes into the
No,
zone.
I remember actually. I remember that situation
I
actually
really wish you said
very
no.
clearly. What the fuck is that douchebag doing over there?
I was like, I'm going to help my boy out because I don't want him to have to waste energy for no reason.
Yeah.
So, it's
You had
first half.
you
It's
had
not
a
like it was second half. Like it's late in the game and we're up 1-0. I'm thinking it's first half. It's you know what? Let me just brief left foot. Could stop.
Had a good first touch.
And you know what?
Solid
And
first
all
touch.
I hear is, no, don't. I'm like, oh, shit. And then you just, and then it was a deep exhale, a head shake, and I went, fuck. I text
Like,
Alex.
I did something really shitty.
But you heard Ring's response, though, right? Brad Ring's response. He goes, wait a minute, were we up 1-0? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, idiot. He goes, you should have known better, bud. And I went,
Yeah, let's. You know what? I mean, I keep forgetting things as well over the time. But you failed epically in that situation, like on an epic scale. It's like,
yeah.
you couldn't have failed
on
worse.
1 to 10. You failed on 28.
We're just going to keep having this until I'm going to fight back. I'm going to eventually. I'm cornered. I've been cornered for 2 weeks. I'm going to fight back. That's right. I'm not going to
There's
yet.
not really anything you can do, though.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, you probably can't, can you?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone. I realize I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Christian. I'll look you in the eyes and say, I will never touch the ball again unless I punt it out of bounds. That's all I'm told to do.
Yeah.
Grab it and just kick it beyond the BYB. Anyways,
Yeah, don't give it directly back to him.
thanks for bringing that back up, Andy.
Hey, I wanted to know.
Yes, thanks, Andy.
The firsthand.
He just looked at me and he said it clearly. Fucking douchebag touching the ball. Great. True feeling.
No, I mean, we talked about that before.
Yeah.
Game face and game emotions and.
I know. I felt like a ball boy. Me, I was one of the ball boys.
No, you know how they feel.
Yeah, but guess what? He's in his 30s. Those kids are like 12.
Fuck you.
Yeah, but I don't really make a difference in that situation.
No, I still.
No, I'm saying you can't treat a 30-year-old the same as a 12-year-old.
He
I
can.
would, and to be honest, I may or may not yelled at ball kids before.
I think we've proven that you have. I think we've proven.
But
you
I
have.
did not use any cuss words and any words towards.
Nor at me. It was a gentle yelling. I just knew you were not happy with what I was doing, but it was sweet. It was in a sweet, stern tone, and I said, "All right, Dad, I'm sorry." So I get it. All right.
It wasn't meant in a sweet way, to be honest.
From the
No.
previous show,
Yeah.
with Greg and Brad, Matthew Shirley,
Yeah.
won the question. It was the Rockford Raptors.
Rockford Raptors. All right.
Isn't that where Brad is from?
Yeah,
Rockford?
that's who Brad played for.
Brad
That,
played.
really?
Brad played for the Rockford Raptors, and
Greg
Greg
called the game.
game.
Oh, really?
97. 97. Yeah.
Talk about full circle, right?
Yep.
So let me give some information to Matthew.
Okay.
While you
So-
ask this guy what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so as much as you can't divulge everything. We understand there's a lot of shit that happens behind doors that just can't be talked about. So for you, tell us what the hell's been going on with you?
Well, there's a lot to talk about, so I don't know where to start.
This
Obviously,
is where we step back.
If you guys would be with a good journalistic background, you would actually ask me questions
First
I
off,
could answer. It's
hold
like
on.
you,
Hold on.
but I knew better already.
We
so
have
I didn't
absolutely zero journalistic background.
No. I'm going to take it for exactly how he meant it, and I'm going to say, oh, I can ask you the same 6 questions over and over. Christian, how does it feel to be back in Indianapolis? Christian, are you really
Good.
glad you're back with Indy 11?
Yes.
Great. How was your time in Montreal? How exciting was it to play in front of 40,000, 45,000, 60?
61.
care.
Good.
I'm calling it 45 is inflated. I know that stadium is inflated. All right, so 60,000. How was it to play in front of that?
Good.
Did you feel you gained experience from that game?
Absolutely.
Do you think you're going to bring that back to Indy 11 and really be able to help the team with that type of experience?
Totally.
Great. There you go. There's the normal
All right,
bullshit
see ya,
question.
guys.
Right. There's your normal bullshit question. So
Okay,
I'm going to leave it open. So what the hell's been going on, Christian?
Let's just start with after the Carolina game.
Carolina game. Bam.
Let's get the time frame right here. The Carolina game was on a Saturday, right?
Most games are, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Don't stop being a smart ass or go home immediately.
I will go home.
Carolina game was Saturday, as all of our games, as we all know. Sunday was just I don't even know if it's we had Sunday off actually.
Okay.
Monday morning was training. Jürgen came to me before training already and said, Christian, take it a little bit easy on training today. I don't want you to get injured.
She's like, what?
Okay. All right, I'll take it easier then. So it was for the guys who started, was actually a pretty easy session in general. So after I totally forgot about that comment. Never really put too much attention into that whole comment.
You're like, yeah, I tried hard the other day. I'll take it easy. Cool.
Was driving home from Grand Park to Scienceville or to Whitestown. Halfway, Jürgen called me and said, Christian, you've been transferred to Montreal. Your plane leaves at 6 o'clock. And it was like,
what was that feeling?
it was all mixed up. I mean, I knew why I would be transferred because we were talking about that before. Montreal had that goalkeeper situation where Evan Bush was suspended with 2 yellow cards, and
And then the injury came in.
the injury.
There's another keeper that was injured as well in Montreal.
Yeah, but that was always the
Well,
the
yeah,
case.
I'm just saying, but
So, yeah.
then the yellow card situation came, so now they're
Yeah.
down to right.
Yeah. So even if that goalkeeper wouldn't be injured, I think it was a young goalkeeper. It's a 3rd string goalkeeper. I don't think they would put him into the final. But anyway, it was 1:40 something. But I didn't even pick up my shoes. My shoes were still in the locker room and all my cleats and gloves and stuff like that. And drove back to the locker room, talked to Jürgen a little bit. Then our team operations manager called me and said, Christian, you gotta come down to the office, sign all the paperwork. It was 2 o'clock by this time. He said, oh okay. Drive down from Grand Park to a downtown office, which takes you like a legit at least 30 minutes, probably even 40.
Right.
Signed all my paperwork. Every 5 minutes, my agent called me and said, Christian, we have to do that, and Christian, that and that and that. He said, oh, okay. I don't know. I was like home by 4 o'clock.
Shit,
I had to be at the airport at 6 o'clock, then the plane was leaving at 6 o'clock. I just literally threw as many things as I could into like two big bags, and
So the beard oils, you had to make sure that was in the bag.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that's always packed up already, you know.
That's right. You just never know, and you're just gonna have to have your beard oils. Got it.
Yeah. So, and then I drove to the airport.
The weird thing, what do you tell your landlord? Do you not even talk to it? Like, do you own a house? Do you rent a house?
No, I rented an apartment.
so
So there was, you know what? I didn't even think about those things because it was like we're talking about Monday, and obviously I knew the final was on Wednesday. It's like, oh,
You have 5 hours to get your whole life together.
yeah, literally
5 hours.
So and then you go to Canada and you don't know how long you go.
That's the sound of a brain exploding.
Yeah,
It was literally at this moment. And then my agent kept calling me and asking me like important question at this moment, but questions I couldn't answer, and I didn't have any energy to even think about those questions.
Doesn't your agent like give you like a heads up, like, hey, guess what? Montreal's probably a little bit interested. Just gonna let you know what might happen at any moment.
It was such a quick turnover because they actually, I think their first option was getting the goalkeeper from Chicago in, that Chicago Firestarter. But then the MLS and the CONCACAF didn't allow that. So and it was like, and I think the deadline for like the roster was Monday 5-ish or something like that.
Jesus.
So every paperwork had to be done until Monday 5 p.m.
Okay.
I think so. I might be wrong, maybe 6 or so. I think at some point at Monday it had to be done.
Right.
So things had to be like super quick. And the GM in Montreal called me, said, Christian, we're gonna announce it. When you're probably in the plane and flying over to Montreal. So just give you a heads up that there will be some questions on your phone afterwards. Said, yeah.
You're like, whatever, right?
There will be some questions on the phone. Landed in Montreal, put my phone on, like literally my phone was exploding. So I think they announced it.
I hope I got my international data plan set up because my shit's about to get blown up.
Your Twitter followers blew up. That was for sure.
That was a whole different story. We had to talk about that in a whole different conversation actually. And then I mean, went to the team hotel or to the hotel. Stayed one night in the hotel. Trained in the afternoon with the team. We went together to our team hotel the night before, and then was already Wednesday, and then it was already the game, and then craziness. I mean, it was literally the most craziest, probably 3 days in my life, which like all the emotions and. I mean, I played in front of 60,000 before multiple times in Germany, but just the magnitude of that game was just the amount of people didn't really, not that anything bothered me, but the amount of people didn't make me nervous. But the magnitude of the game did. To be honest, I was. It's quite difficult to make me nervous and to get me in that kind of situation. But
on TV, you looked zoned in.
I was super nervous on Monday, the whole day after I heard about it. And when I was in Montreal, obviously Tuesday was like I was on the toilet over average.
Okay. Had a little gastrointestinal problem. You lost about 5 or 6 pounds.
You didn't go to Mexico again. Wait, I thought you went to Canada. Wait.
And then I had a press conference where like 100 journalists were there, cameras were on me and asking me all those questions you just asked me, and I just answered like all those questions in a serious and non-serious way, just to make them believe I'm actually cool with what happened and I'm totally relaxed. And it's like
this
no
is
nerves here.
my
No nerves.
blood pressure was
just another
like,
day in the office for Christian.
Yeah.
He tries to lean back. He's like, I'm good. Right.
was
I
really just
played in front of those crowds before,
hammered.
and it's like, it's not my first rodeo, and my stomach was just like flipping up and down and turning, and it was crazy.
For the media too, the media circus, because there was a huge push for media as well. Have you ever experienced that before? Was that something that you experienced in Germany when you were playing in front of these big crowds?
Not on a daily basis. When it comes to cup finals or to bigger games, then you kind of have that media attendance, but not for normal games. So I've been on like a few press conferences before, but like nothing like that. So that was just totally something new.
Sorry, I'm just looking over here, and there's this whole thing going on. Like, she's like listening, like through the YouTube feed. And it's on a delay.
If you guys want to sit over there, we can turn the speaker back on. You guys can listen if you
Actually, I
want.
can just turn one around and put it right on your table.
Yeah, you can turn that around. I can turn it up. It's fine.
She's like, oh, just stop. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Stop it.
Silly boy. Stop.
Stop.
All right, so you get there, you play in the game. How was that game for you?
Surprisingly for me, it was as soon as the game started, I was super calm.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with me. I don't
It's
know
the
what,
Christian
like,
zone.
I was super calm, not relaxed, but like super calm and super
Yeah.
focused.
Yeah.
Not one piece of being nervous or being like super tender. It's like I was super calm and just tried to play to play my game. So I was actually pretty impressed by myself because that's what I usually are in
Right.
games. But with that whole preparation and the whole being way more nervous in front of games than I usually am, I was a little worried about how I would react in the game. But
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It's how the game turned out is not in any way a reflection of talent or effort or how you played. There was just some shit you just cannot control that happened. And honestly, you could tell you were there, you were involved, you were making calls, you were you. You could tell. I mean, that's the thing is you could tell the nerves
There's a
weren't
couple
there.
times we could hear you.
You could tell the nerves weren't there because you did your normal role. And normally somebody who would come into that type of team and who would have nerves would be like, well, I don't want to overpress. I mean, even though I'm a keeper, and you were still there going, no, we need this.
Yes, but the good thing was I knew the team and the team
Right.
knew me. That was a big plus in that whole situation.
was good.
So I was not
You weren't
afraid
some new guy.
I was not afraid to yell at
Fuck
somebody.
is this guy?
Yeah.
Give me instruction back here.
So,
So
I've been with them in Mexico for almost
Right.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been a few times in Montreal, so
Right.
I knew the team knew me. So there was a way easier start for me to start that game.
So I'm sorry about the game. We literally, man, we were blowing it up like, you need to watch this. People going, hey, what network can we watch? And we're like, we're sending it out. You need to watch this game. So, I mean, I apologize for the finish. It was an extremely exciting game. It was crazy to see us. You go, look at that guy is playing in this game. Like, this is awesome. Like, it was good. So I know it's disappointing for you, just as a competitor that you are. You are a great competitor. But I hope you don't take anything. I know you're very critical. We've talked about this, very critical on yourself. You probably went back and thought about 1,000 different things maybe you could have done differently. But I hope you don't.
I haven't seen the game at all.
Okay, so that's how critical you are that you refuse to even watch the game right now.
I have
don't.
not seen the game at all.
Please don't.
Never since.
Don't watch it. It'll piss you off. Just there's some things that I sat there and went, are you fucking kidding me? Like, leave that guy out to dry one more time. So
you know what? I have to stand up for those guys and for
you can.
my team in Montreal. Yes, we were all disappointed, especially with the way the first game went, and obviously we were up 1-0 at even a chance to score the second one. It's Club America, Manchester United of that continent here.
Oh yeah. People here for whatever reason don't seem to know how good. Like you
Club
just don't.
America is.
Yeah, like you just don't hear a ton of them here.
I mean, a good number of their players played in the World Cup for like different countries in Brazil.
Yeah.
We should be all very, very proud of those guys even more than me because I only was involved in a certain way. What Montreal achieved over there, what Montreal did for North American soccer, for the MLS, and I'm super proud to be part of that team.
And that's exactly my point was I really hope, because knowing how critical you are, that you don't take it like, fuck, that was just not how I wanted to play, because it was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the score was going to be, you could tell the heart, the effort, everything. It was awesome. So I really hope you didn't beat on yourself.
No, I mean you beat on. I mean we had Thursday and Friday off, which was pretty cool because then I had actually the first time a chance to see something from Montreal, go out and do some sightseeing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you get some poutine while you were there?
I didn't like it too much, to be honest.
Oh my god! When I went to Toronto,
God, this guy was like poutine every day.
I did. I ate poutine every day.
Poutine with pork, like shredded pork on it. Poutine with nachos.
I do like the whole French cuisine which is going on in Montreal. But I'm not a big poutine fan. I don't know. It didn't strike it too much.
Curds, gravy, and fries.
So,
Just sounds delicious.
And it was a beautiful day in Montreal on Thursday. I was down in the harbor and up in that Mont-Royal, that mountain they have over there. So whenever anybody wants to make a travel to Canada and to Montreal, it's like I can absolutely recommend Montreal. Beautiful city.
So we go to Montreal. Just about Christian. Where are we going?
Travel agent, Christian. Right here you go. Excellent. Okay.
But I was totally empty. With all that like nerve-wracking stuff which was going on since Monday, I woke up like 10ish or something like that after I finally fall asleep like 6 or probably like 6 a.m. I was just walking around. I kind of enjoyed it, but I was just like walking around, like, it was like totally like
The
Like
whole
a
thing has to be
zombie.
a blur. It all has to be a blur from
I was
Monday
empty.
on.
I was empty. I was like
Jesus, man.
totally like no energy left in my body, and
I'm glad you didn't get sick because between the traveling, the stress, and how much you were up, like, I'm like, normally people just get really
Yeah,
super sick,
yeah.
man.
when once the body comes down, people usually get affected by that. But no, it was.
because I'm superhuman.
It
I'm
was
just a super German. I got
What?
niche powers.
Great. So he's
So,
I'm just gonna let it. That's
no, it's all right.
amazing.
It's okay. Let's go back to
Questions like this. Why do I keep doing this to myself? This is so dumb.
back to the Twitter question. Obviously, your social media wise, you had. How much did you pay attention to the?
Just Jesus.
What did I do?
What did I do? This is for earlier too. This is just you just zoning out. And you asked Brad like the same question 6 times in a row. It was amazing.
That's what I do.
Go ahead.
That's what I do.
All right, do your thing there.
Social media wise, Christian, social media, Twitter, talk about it. No,
do it again.
okay.
Okay.
How much did you pay attention to the?
I mean, I did pay attention to a certain. One of the reasons I watched you guys' show on Tuesday on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday,
Yeah,
yeah.
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They're usually on Tuesdays. Thanks, Chris.
Was
Leave him alone. I'm just happy he watched.
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
your face, Andy.
one was funny because I know when Dawson and Brett are involved in something, it's usually something funny. Then I want to get my mind off the game. It's like and everybody was talking about me about the game. Everybody's like, you know what? I just want to be Christian, do some stupid stuff, or text in there something stupid. And
Dude, that was a great question because Dawson just looked and went, Is Dawson still scared of me? Dawson was like,
That's a funny story. And we had to ask him about the first pitch story too.
yeah,
Because
I saw that whole part with Dawson.
Dawson's like,
And
that
it was
never
good.
happened.
And I really actually I have to thank you guys because that really took my mind off like that whole game for like half an hour and the whole preparation because everybody want to give me input. Like
We're good for 30 minutes of relief. That's about it. We're like the worst painkillers
It's gonna
ever.
be the new, it's gonna be the new tagline for the show. Christian listens to us to forget about soccer.
To go brain dead. He listens to the Permanent Relegation Podcast. Excellent.
Oh,
That's
that's
good.
awesome.
Okay.
So, but it actually did help me that situation. So it was good. I did pay attention to Twitter, and to Facebook, more after the game, to be honest. And I realized, it sounds kind of arrogant to say, I knew I had some kind of popularity within the soccer community in Indianapolis when it comes to the 11. I was mind blowing how much Twitter and Facebook was how much was on there about me and that whole thing and it was actually like at one point I think I had like at some point I have tears in my eyes when I saw it in the hotel on Thursday on Friday and said it's quite overwhelming and it was a great feeling to know that I'll be
You're a living legend here, sir.
I wouldn't go that
You're the
far,
first,
but
you are. You're the first signing. This is huge for us. Like
Yeah.
you literally are the
but
face.
it was really good to see that.
Well, it even got to the point where people were changing like Facebook profile pictures
So
to.
the photo I posted of you with the scoreboard, and it was just you in focus, scoreboard out of focus, and I used that for kind of as you leaving.
No.
It was just your back, and it was like thanks. And there was multiple people
yeah,
who
I
changed that
remember
as their Twitter avatar, and I was like, people are jacking my photo for this. Like that's and I realized like
You
holy shit.
finally did something good.
I
Chris.
did something. Well, that was right before I touched the ball, so I did just as much. See, I
Yeah.
get a little good. A little good. Give me something. All right.
I was actually what I loved the most is the empathy, or not empathy, but like the support you got from all of North America.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw those multiple MLS for Montreal tweets. You saw NASL for Montreal tweets. I mean, in the 11, Patrick Cummings put
Yeah,
like that.
That's what I was talking about. That logo.
The blue black in the 11 owns the 11 owns the Indy or something like that logo. I mean, it tells you a lot about American soccer. I mean, Indy 11 or like, I mean, Indy 11 does have something to do with Montreal because of the whole situation we were in.
Right.
But
Outside of that, not really.
I mean, you don't have to do this. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like there's no reason to do this. Or nobody expecting you to do this.
Right.
And seeing all that and knowing pretty much every team in the MLS and NHL was rooting for Montreal.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had a journalist, good friend of mine, is a journalist, or is a sports journalist in Rochester. He's a big soccer guy in Rochester. Jeff DeVeronica. And Rochester and Montreal were like, it was like back in the days the big rivalry.
Right.
In NHL and whatever the league's been called before that. And then obviously Montreal went to MLS. So there was like 20,000 people in the stadium, a hate relationship.
Yeah.
And even Rochester, like
Sits them out. Yeah.
like we're totally supportive to Montreal and we wish Montreal the best. And Jeff did like a big article in the daily newspaper in Rochester, which is like every Rochester Rhinos fan should be a Montreal Impact fan tonight because of Christian is playing there now and because of it's the biggest game in North American soccer history, club soccer history. And it's like, I mean, just it was overwhelming to see all that support.
Yeah. So, okay, so we have all this that's happened. You get past the game, you go sightsee, you get on.
You get off touristy. You have your bye week.
Get off
that you missed.
touristy, you have your bye week. As much as you can. What happens next? Because we hear, which again, I'll be honest, is like the worst kept secret for fans. We go, is this really a permanent thing? Is Montreal really doing this, or is this because of this one game? And I go, please don't let it just be, as much as we want you back, please don't let it be that way. And then we see, okay, Montreal has released Christian. We go, you fucking serious? And we go, okay. So what happens at this point? You get the notice.
Well,
what happens?
We didn't. I mean, it was planned. Originally set up as a longer thing. As a signed a 2-year contract, or like until the end of the season plus 1 year option. After the game, I think everybody there was happy the way I performed and the way I did that, especially under those circumstances I was in. They have 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
They have Evan Bush as a starter and Eric Kronberg, 2 really, really good goalkeepers. We sat together and we kind of discussed about things, how things would be in the future, and how. I said, guys, I want to play. Like, obviously, without putting any pressure on Montreal, they couldn't offer me that at the moment. Because their goalkeepers are doing pretty good. They're 2 really, really good goalkeepers, which are also personally really, really good. So, and it's like, guys, I want to play. I used to play the last like 3 years in a row in America. I'm not the guy who not already who want to sit on the bench and just being an MLS to say, hey, I'm an MLS, but I'm actually just like a backup goalkeeper.
Well, we kind of talked about
goalkeeper.
that when at the show at Chris's house, where it's like, what's that transition from going from starting all the time to just being on the bench? And
that's not you, man. You're a player. You want to play, baby.
Yeah.
That was weird. It was really awkward.
You just made it awkward.
You just walk him. You just walk him down these paths, and he doesn't know what to do. So he goes, random noise. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So you guys sat down. You had an honest talk, and
sat down, and then said they were sitting honestly in front of me, and I was sitting honest in front of them, and said, like, guys, what kind of solution do we have? And then you always looking over my shoulder. Kind of makes you nervous, though.
What the fuck was that? What just happened?
You know, when somebody's looking at you, just look at me. And if somebody's looking at you like that all the time, he's like, "What?"
I hope there's not drug testing.
First off, that was like super goalkeeper reaction.
Motherfucker was going for a save.
Yeah, he was going for a save.
Real quick, then. So, did you see this save today?
Oh,
did you happen to watch Champions League at all today?
No. What's that Champions League today?
Yeah, it was Barcelona and Bayern. Okay. Second leg.
How did they play?
Well, Bayern won the game, but they lost on aggregate. So
how did they play?
a lot better than the first game.
What's the freaking result?
3-2
All right,
today.
that's easy. Just
But
ask how did they play.
But they lost on aggregate.
Yeah, I know that. Jeez.
Welcome back,
Watch this save.
dickhead.
Now wait. Not a goal.
Oh, that's their thing. That's even a German goalkeeper, right?
Dude, he played out of his mind. He saved a goal at the top 90. Literally touched the top. He literally kept them in. This probably could have been 7-2.
Okay.
It was fit. Anyways.
Well, yeah.
Save. So back to you.
One chance was I stay there and fight for maybe a number 2 spot.
Right.
Or they put me on waivers.
Okay.
And that's what we decided. Okay, that's the best solution in that moment.
So did you come back immediately here, or where did you go for the next?
Well, I think I was on waivers on Wednesday, on Thursday.
Okay.
I kind of lost the time frame a little bit.
Right,
Because so much
right.
things
Because
going
then
on.
you went back into a whirlwind, almost exactly the opposite of what happened when you left, is that you went into that whirlwind of coming back.
I came back to Indy on Friday, but just not because of Indy 11 or something like that, just because of my apartment is here. It's like,
oh shit, I have a lease.
I don't know.
Oh shit,
like-
I live there right now.
So
I forgot I had a dog. I have to let him out. Oh my god! Wait. Oh no.
why are you laying on your back with your legs in the air?
There's shit and piss everywhere.
And you ate the cheese wheel?
Yeah, and then we my agent started talking to a couple of clubs and figure out situations, and it took a little while, and we finally got everything together back here, and nobody really had to convince me to come back to Indy 11. So when that chance was on again, or the possibility was there was not really a lot of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like, let's be honest. Once those waivers were up, you're like, kind of in the back of your head, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back. I want to go back.
Yeah, but it's not my call.
Well,
You know what I
wanted to
mean?
go back.
I had it in the back of my head. Probably, I don't know. Probably I did have it in my back of my head, but you never know if that really happens.
Sure.
What Indy 11's setup is, what other options are there, what all that kind of stuff, and
You know what options are here. You play
Huh?
for us. You know exactly
know
what
what
options
other
are here.
options
Oh,
are
okay. I'm like, wait, you know what options are here.
in and around. So,
Yeah.
but so yeah, I mean, like I said, we had some loose things here and there, but I said it earlier today. It kind of, as great as everything was, and as I wouldn't trade playing the Champions League final for anything. It kind of felt like unfinished business for me here, which is kind of a regular thing in that business or in that soccer life. But when I had the chance to, or when finally the chance came up, and like Sunday-ish, okay, I can actually finish business here, and I can finish things I started or we started. So it gives me a pretty good feeling that I'm not just leaving and okay, that's it, and people will remember me and people will like me. We actually can still something fast to achieve here.
And you can give back. You can kind of keep going and giving that. 'Cause that was the weirdest part, is that the social media and Twitter response of you coming back, and obviously it's just today, which was announced for it. But even when they announced, we're starting to announce other players getting announced and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's Christian. Gotta get Christian."
A
back."
lot of people. I got like I was not blown. My phone was not blowing up, but there were a couple of like. I mean, I got like probably like 20 texts every day. What are you doing? Where are you? What's the next thing? What? When are you coming back? And where are you now? Are you back in Germany? And just put my phone out. Didn't, because I mean, it's like, even though we're good friends, and when they're really good friends, I try to like answer them in some way, because I didn't know at some point, I didn't know what's going on either. So yeah, I just, the more you talk, the more you have to explain yourself. So
So it was radio silence.
it was at some point was silence, yeah. And I just did it on purpose, because I couldn't tell people anything, because there wasn't anything to tell. So no.
All right, hurry up and wait.
So
Something might happen.
dude, you could just tell you are mentally wrecked. So, I mean, are you starting to feel a little more normal? Like as the hours go by, are you starting to mentally just kind of decompress and go, all right, I'm stable again. I know where I am.
I'm getting there. The whole thing took a lot out of me. I mean, it's like
really? How so?
It started all last Sundays 2 weeks ago. When
right. Okay. Tell you a little story. Okay. Man.
So when finally when I got the message this morning that all the paperwork went through and everything is like set in stone.
You practiced today, right?
Yeah, I practiced this morning. It was like when I was like, I can actually like this is going to happen. This is what it is now. And out of some transfer rules or something like that, and with Canada and America, I actually can't change the club anymore this year.
Oh,
so
you're ours. You can't leave.
I'm here
buddy.
now. I'm here now.
So you are literally Indy forever.
Indy forever. Right.
Indy forever 2015.
You can play anywhere as long as the name is Indy 11.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it feels good now. It feels good. There was a couple of over the weekend. It was kind of wasn't rough, but it's kind of like uncertain where I'm going, what I'm doing, where I'm gonna end up, and so I'm happy now to have that certainty that I have a club, and also that certainty that it is in the 11.
So I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this team. So if you for whatever reason have to leave, or something happens, a transfer, and let's say transfer doesn't go through, are you here on a work visa type deal?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that work? Like, let's say you don't get signed, what happens? And if you're not able, I mean, I don't know if you're able to talk about that or not, but
I'm not 100% sure. Maybe people can prove me wrong afterwards. I think I have to leave the country pretty quick.
Okay, like my understanding is like within like a couple weeks. Like if you don't have,
I'm not even sure if it's that long, to be honest.
Oh, really?
So
wow. So I can't see why you'd be under any stress at all. Like, wait, okay, I have no job. Wait, I'm gonna be here. Okay, all right.
So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was
baby, you're home. You're home.
Yeah, and that feels good.
Good.
It feels good.
So now back to business. Back to business and prepping for Minnesota. And I mean, do you know yet if you're starting?
Playing Saturday?
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I mean, I know the team. The team knows me. Played well, so I can't see a reason why I shouldn't play.
I don't know, man. You're this. It's kind of presumptuous to just say. I mean, you're the newest signing of Indy 11.
Yeah.
Think you're just going to start the first game? Yeah,
sounds pretty arrogant.
Yeah, exactly. I know I just signed, but I'm going to go ahead and start on Saturday. I don't know.
I'm just letting you guys know.
Right.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I played in the MLS. I played in the biggest North American game ever.
I actually did not play in the MLS.
Oh, that's true. It's Champions League. That's right.
You know what? Actually, a funny fact is, the Habs were in a playoffs against Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
So I saw baseball, obviously MLB.
Right.
Should we talk about that, guys? I saw the Pacers playing. I saw a couple of NFL games. So the NHL, I haven't never seen an NHL game. And then I had the chance actually on Friday, 2 days after our game. We got tickets for the Habs game, which was super cool because they're like, I don't know, probably know this better than me, but like they're probably one of the craziest crowd in all of NHL. I can't judge that because I've never been in any other NHL arenas, but they are crazy. I can tell you so much.
How was that?
It was good. Awesome. I mean, they lost in double overtime. So at least I saw a lot of ice hockey, but not with the result we wanted.
Right.
So bottom line, I saw NFL games, I saw MLB games, I saw NBA games, I saw NHL games. You know what? I had not seen
professional bocce ball. Right.
No, I did that actually.
That's right. No, I played professional bocce ball. Okay. Yeah. What have you not seen?
Did not see an MLS game since I'm here in America.
Wow. and you were literally 2 hours and 45 minutes to Chicago.
I
and
did not-
literally 2
and
hours
he was
and
on an MLS team.
That's so, I mean, the irony alone.
I have
Right.
not seen an MLS regular league game in since I'm in
Sounds like a
America.
road trip to Chicago.
I still think he should have gone to Monday Night Raw when they were in Montreal. He should have shown up to a professional wrestling on Monday.
Professional
Yes.
wrestling.
Professional.
It's professional fake wrestling. It's like
Yeah, it's professional. It's
Duh.
men's. It's soap opera for men's
Yep.
is what it is.
Should have gone in and just kicked everyone in the face.
no,
It's so awesome. So,
no. I literally have no interest to watch that. Like zero.
You just broke Peter Evans and Andrew Retz's
That's
heart.
true. Peter
Into
Evans
a
right now is
million pieces.
crying right now. He's like, I was so glad to have Christian back, and then he killed my dreams. Somewhere, Cormac is writing. He's literally listening to this. He's writing a whole blog about this whole thing.
So we'll wrap this up.
Yep.
Obviously, the big thing is majority of people are glad you're back because there's going to be pushback. But, Chris and I both are extremely excited that you're back with the team and definitely glad you're here. Obviously, you've been good to us the entire time, too. So I really appreciate
Yeah, fuckheads.
Dude, it was a weird couple weeks.
Yeah.
It was like we got the news.
Is he? Isn't he?
And well, no, even just when you left, like Andy and I was like, out of like everybody, like there's nothing against any of the rest of the team and whatever, but it was different. Like having, like, that's our bro, man. He's just fucking gone. Like I'm so happy for him. Like as a friend, like I'm so
You
happy.
know how many people are pissed at me that I didn't tell them?
Oh wow.
Like people called me or like texted me on Monday evening when they heard about it. It's like, I thought we were friends, and like
Motherfucker, I just
this is
found
like-
out.
I literally heard about it 4 hours ago, and I had a hell lot to do it instead to get it done. So
Yeah, that was that thing where it was just like, I don't know if I heard it first or you heard it first. It was just immediately like, hey, Christian's gone.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, loan back? No.
Well,
Sold.
remember we were trying to set up for the show.
Yeah.
We're trying to set up for the show, and we're talking to Kaluter, and we're like, hey,
yeah.
Kaluter, we're like, are you going to come up to the show? We're going to give some stuff away. And he goes, no, I don't know. I'm 50-50 right now. And then he sends back another message. He goes, it looks like I'm going to have to come up because I'm going to have to do some explaining.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
And I'm like, what? And then we found out. And we're like,
I just sent a text to Kluter. I said, well, he goes, told you I needed to be there.
I was like, oh my God. So anyways, yeah, but thank you, man. I'm really excited for Saturday. I'm sure we're going to see you out there. I will not touch any balls. Not even yours.
Forecast is rain right now.
you're not touching my balls. That's actually highly appreciated.
Hey, there might be a time. No, just kidding.
You never know. There could be a late night after an Indians game.
Yeah, I know there could be a parking ticket involved. Hey, that got paid.
Or
That
an
was cool.
Or an open
Don't
container.
say that.
That
No,
wasn't my fault.
it was totally your fault.
It was not.
Yeah,
Well, it was my fault.
I blame
Actually,
you.
it wasn't his fault.
I don't know, but we now also
used
have
the app.
whatever. Yes, we also now have an answer to how many hot dogs can Andy smash at one Indians game and then
When
go.
it's on a Monday- when it's on a
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah, but like it was not only an Indians game. It's too much of a duration. It's like
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
hot dogs can Andy
And it's
kill in like
$1.
3 innings?
It's like $1.
Because that was
Right.
that was the like
I
the
think
time
it
he
was,
actually had them.
4 the first time. I went back and got like
Wait a
3
minute.
more.
You as well, sir. You guys
I
were
had like
both like.
3 or something like that, and they were like tiny.
I had 5 hot dogs that night.
Yeah, you had 5 hot dogs. Look at her. She's like
In the
fucking
first 5 innings.
Yep. All right. So we'll see you on Saturday. We're super pumped. This is the big one. I'm gonna get on.
Minnesota's game is going to be huge. Obviously, check out Brickyard Battalion Section 2. Peter Evans has teased a huge TIFO for the game on Saturday as well. So hopefully the rain.
I'm hearing this
doesn't
could be
cause
like
it.
a multi-act, like a play, like 2 halves, multi-act. People are coming in, flying in. There's all types of crazy shit
And the
happening.
reaction,
So-
the hometown crowd reaction, you coming back. That's gonna be kind of cool.
Dude, if they start blaring over the PA, I'm coming home, I'm just gonna go. Ah. And I'm
Okay,
gonna-
I sing it.
I know. And I'm gonna look at you, and you're gonna look at me. You're gonna flip me off, and I'm gonna go, yeah.
I want DOS reboot chance.
DOS reboot. DOS boot the yes part 2 the reboot. Done. All right.
All right,
Hey,
show's
hey.
over now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Christian. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.